Welcome everyone to a Grimdark Filthy Casuals 9th edition battle report. Really excited to be playing Warhammer 40k again. Last time we recorded, it was an 8th edition game. We played Brian right before Saga of the Beast, and now we're playing post War of the Spider. And we really wanted to try to get Brandon Grant on the channel today, but we thought, you know what, we're Grimdark Filthy Casuals, we can do one better. We could do literally one better. And so instead, we have GDFC member Dustin Quebedeaux, the Bayou Badass himself, who placed 58th at LVO, going 5-1 with your Orks. Is that right?
Something like that, something like that. Very glad to be here in the GDFC studios, playing the first game of 9th edition. I can't be more excited. There's been so much stuff that's come out, not just 9th edition rules, but Saga of the Beast in so many books. And today we get to actually play it in person, face to face.
Face to face.
Face to face. No more of that TTS nonsense, but it's going to be fantastic. Super, super pumped.
Absolutely. So Dustin, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be playing today.
Today we're playing a game of Only War, which I think is very important. For those of you that are brand new to 9th edition, which is literally all of us, I really think this is where you should start because it's a basic approach to the 9th edition rules. You're not getting into the complex primaries and secondaries that you're going to see in match play. So you can really absorb and digest the changes before you launch yourself into getting to that deep complexity of strategic play.
Right. So if you come to us playing 8th edition, we're really going to try to focus on some of the nuance and the changes between the editions. If you're new to 9th edition, welcome. We hope you enjoy this game. So Dustin, tell us a little bit about the Orks that you're bringing today.
Well, today I really wanted to try out some of the cool stuff that came from Saga of the Beast. Saga of the Beast had two big focuses. One was on goths surrounding Ghaz and the other one was the custom jobs with the more mechanized, like buggies and like killicans and cool stuff like that. Today we're going to see the very rare, not often seen goth list.
Oh boy.
So we've got the
oh
big
boys.
boy. Oh boys, oh boys. We got the big boy himself, Ghaz. And what I love about my list today is I love sidekicks. So I had to bring Makari.
Every Batman needs a Robin.
Exactly, and every character that could have a Robin has a Robin in this list, so prepare for some grot tomfoolery. But on top of that too, there's also that next strategic level of play. There's a lot of things I want to test that came from Saga of the Beast that I think are going to be better and different in a cool way to approach 9th edition. So you're going to see a lot of Mega Knobs, which is a unit that I would never play in 8th edition. You're also going to see my Burn Obamas. Ooh,
oh,
I'm so excited.
Looking to get burned by those. Boys.
Yes, there's two big combos that were unlocked with Saga of the Beast. One was with Burn Obamas, another one was with the Shock Jump Dragsta. So today we're going to see Burn Obamas. Maybe in the future we'll see that Shock Jump Dragsta combo.
You heard it here first, folks. It's going to be on the channel at some point. Okay. Is there, in terms of the overall play style, we're going to be playing 1850 today. And I would say both of our armies, our compositions are relatively the same. So as you're looking to the 9th edition rules, how are you going to be trying to play this army to cater to the mission, or what's your focus today?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much talk going on because 9th it's in its infancy. It just was born so recently when we're filming this that people are really down in terms of how do hordes play in this new edition. Right. As an Orc player, it's very concerning for me. A lot of my friends who play Tyranids or Gene Stealers or other factions are also concerned about that. For me, I think there's a lot that a Horde player needs to think about in terms of the mission focus.
Right.
Today with Only War, having a Horde, having a lot of units to capture points is going to be big. I think that's going to be one of the big strategies for me going into this game. And then to those bigger, more complex match play missions with things like Raise the Flag that everyone's talking about, right. I think some of the negativity we've seen regarding how Hordes play is going to abate as they see how the mission actually shapes the meta rather than just points and how many shots your gun shoots.
Absolutely.
How about for you, for Custodes, what is your approach?
So very similar. Custodes were in a little bit of a rough spot prior to War of the Spider, right? There's a lot of hide hammer going on.
Yeah.
We should have some durability and just that 2+5 toughness, 4 up invulnerable save, but with AP 1 and 2 everywhere, they're just mowing down Custodes left and right. But with War of the Spider, and I know we got a game in a couple of days ago, and we can showcase a couple of the new stratagems that really increase our durability. A very similar style of list. So what this list will feature really, it revolves around a 6 model unit of Alaris Terminators. Very durable. They have a very cool stratagem, Oromite and Adamantium, which basically allows them to ignore AP -1 or 2 weapons. So they can be very tanky. They've got just so much utility. They can snipe at characters, they can double shoot. strength 8 on those axes, and they can just do quite a bit. So that's going to be a lot of my board control, even though my board control is in 6 models. Yours is in something like 60, 90 models or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so then the other thing this list really features is good old Telamon, and I could not be more excited to play good old Telly with the 9th edition rules. Shooting without the penalty to hit, being able to shoot in combat. I had paid for the upgrade for the Eternal Penitent, which allows him to reroll charges as well as getting an additional attack, and hopefully between all the shooting and the attacks, he's going to be able to squash some boys.
Yeah, the Telamon I think is going to be a really big player for this game. I think anyone who really loves to have dreadnoughts in their list, this is going to be a great addition for you, especially those that like to mix and match what they're having on those arms. We saw it was so binary in 8th edition of just strap on 2 Gatling guns and just pow, pow, pow. These days I think we're going to see some surprising stuff out of that little fist over there. But
flat 4 damage. Yeah,
yikes.
That'll be a surprise.
Thank goodness Thraka can only take so much per turn. Otherwise, oh my goodness, I think you would just knock him flat on his butt.
So we'll see. If we can arrange for that fight to happen, that might be a cool showdown.
Come to the middle. Come at me, bro. I'm right here.
Well, I might be doing a little bit more hide hammering, or who knows, coming down from deep strike. But I am going to be playing the Shadow Keepers. So this is 1 patrol detachment. Shadow Keepers. I'm a big fan of it. For those who may know me from the various Discord channels, I think that Grim Responsibility stratagem, which reduces the strength of incoming attacks by 1, is so powerful, especially in a game that seems to be headed towards board control, trying to be durable on objectives. That durability that it provides you is just so key. So
yeah, strength 8 weapons have really become all over our list in 8th edition. To have that ability to increase that toughness by 1, massive, massive change for the amount of wounds that are going to come through to that dreadnought. So let's see.
So other than this list, we also have 5 Virtus Praetors, which I know not a lot of people are as excited about them because they didn't receive any direct benefits from War of the Spider. However, I think about a lot of tools that Custodes need. We need something to be able to go out, grab objectives. We need shots, mass shots. And every time I go back to the Virtus Praetors, they just fill so many roles on the battlefield. They're expensive, yes, but if you can use them effectively, they can be game-winning units. So really the list revolves around 2 game-winning units, which are the Alaris and the Virtus Praetors. In this list we also have 2 squads of just regular Guardians. They're for objective holding, hopefully maybe they can hide. They do have Storm Shields and will be very upfront. We're not entirely sure how the Storm Shield rules are going to work for Custodes in 9th edition, but I believe we've decided we're going to play them with the +1 to your armor save, 4+ invulnerable save. So if that is clarified at a later point in date after this has been recorded, oops.
We'll get ready to take a lot of sluggish shots.
I'm not looking forward to that. Then other than this, Constantine Valdor today, which I love the model, in honor of Jeff Robinson. Today he doesn't have the Trajan stat line, but he will be played as an Alaris shield captain.
Love it.
With an axe.
Absolutely love
And then the last model in here, well actually 2 models, we have the shield captain on Untitled Jetbike. We will have Victor of the Blood Games as well as the Salvo launcher. Superior Creation, which gives him that 5+ feel, no pain. He's got the Relic Bike, which also gives him the reroll charges, 3+ invulnerable save. And this dude can just go wherever he wants and can create a lot of havoc. Or tank like 6 kilocan attacks from 6 kilocans without taking a single wound.
I'm having flashbacks from our practice match earlier this week. Boy, can he.
Yeah, so that's exciting. And then lastly we have the Vexilla here, who can teleport dudes in. The -1 to hit is pretty big still.
Yeah, I think he's a given for just about any Custode list to have that -1. How that plays out with terrain and its positioning in future matches, I think is going to be something to be aware of, and how much -1 you do want to stack into a list. But for the time being, I think he's something you want to keep in the list.
Yeah. So that's the list, 1850. I think it's 1849, but we're really excited. There's a lot of contrast here in the 2 armies, but they do play very similar. Dustin, what do you feel are going to be keys to victory for the Orks today?
It's going to be objective control and whether I can survive the absolutely withering fire of those Dawn Eagle jet bikes. I get a lot of Boyz, but I've seen those shots come through and it's rough. Even if you have 90 Boyz, 110 Boyz, even more, it's sometimes not enough for all that firepower.
Right.
But it's going to be really critical. I'm relying a lot on the Burnabombers to do some work along with the stratagems they have with the flying headbutt.
Moral wounds everywhere.
And of course Thraka. It's going to revolve around Thraka, I think, and how much he can take. I'm fortunate today that you have no psychic powers to kind of give him more damage out of the combat phase. But we'll see. I kind of have a little bit of a mix and match of what my army has to bear. So, of course, we've got Ghaz with Rock in the front, Makari by his side. He's also supported by a Pain Boy, and the Pain Boy is super critical because there's a stratagem that allows Thraka to heal D3 wounds for 1 CP.
Oh boy.
Important for keeping him alive. He's supported by 10 Mega Knobs. That is a heck of an entourage.
Has a lot of Mega Knobs.
Yep.
He's got his posse with him. He's rolling.
He's got a posse plus his 30 boys, another 10 boys, and 27 boys. Again, to hit that 1850 points. They're supported by 10 Grots, a Weird Boy, a custom force-filled Big Mech with a Grot Oiler, 2 Burn Obamas, and of course the Death Skull's Relic Shock Attack Gun.
Oh man.
He eats CP like nobody's business, but I gotta have something big to punch through the crazy armor you have on the table.
So really looking forward to this. This is a fun list, and like we said, these may not be the most competitive
Yeah, for sure.
variants of these various lists, but I do think they're able to showcase a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
And should be a lot of fun. All right, keys to victory for the Custodes. I think it will be very similar to the Orks. He has a lot of threats, and they come in various ways, starting with the Burn Obamas. He's got some pretty decent shooting in the list that I do have to respect. The Mega Knobs, if they get into me, they're going to do some work. And obviously the boys. If we can't get the boys and start getting some board control and sitting on objectives, by turn 2 or 3, this game is going to start quickly spiraling out of control for the Custodes.
And I was worrying about the doomsday scenario of 180 boys attacks if everything is perfectly aligned in the stars. You will fail enough 2-up saves.
It's morning this time. We're not filming at like 11 p.m., so hopefully the stars aren't going to be aligning yet. All right. Well, Dustin, looking forward to getting a great game, and hopefully you all enjoy this battle report.
Thank you. So now that we've gone through some of the specifics of our different armies, one thing we need to talk about is the mission. So we're playing the basic mission from the core rules, Only War, and this is all about objective control. The main mission objective is called Capture and Command. So at the start of your turn in the new command phase, you're going to score 1 victory point for every objective you hold. There's going to be 4 objectives on the battlefield, and we're going to roll off in just a second to determine where those are. You're going to get a bonus victory point also if you hold more objectives than your opponent. So you can see the smile on the Orc player seeing what's going to come up. but you're also going to get an extra victory point for Slay the Warlord, which hopefully we don't lose our Warlords too soon. But the roll right now is to determine who's going to place the objectives first. Looking at the map, you're going to see a couple of cards that describe some of the terrain you see here. A lot of defensible terrain on the board, so the objective placement is going to be super, super critical for how the entire cadence of the game actually plays out for us. So I'll have a little bit of a window into your strategy, I think, coming up, depending on where you put those big circles. So if you're ready, without further ado,
let's do it.
All right, here it comes.
I'm going to be white.
I'm black.
All right.
A 2! Hey!
We're looking good.
You know what, though? I'm going to let you place the first objective.
Ooh, you would. All right, we'll see you at objective placing.
So digging deep into the objective placement, what was your thought process for putting down your 2 objectives?
Yeah, my thought process was I want to hold every single one of them without the Orcs getting to them.
Naturally.
But realistically, so there's 2 things that I was going through my mind. One is something that we talked about is you score points at the top of your turn in the command phase in turn 1.
Specifically for this mission, yes.
Exactly right. So we wanted to be able to have 2 objectives within a deployment zone.
Yeah.
And instead of having 1 out, which basically, like you said, leaves it to a dice roll, who's going to be able to do that, is not a good way to start the game.
No, you don't want to start that deficit.
Right.
For me, when I approach list building, I always want to think about that objective placement also. So for my list, and I think this is important for any 9th edition player, is think about what kind of super cheap units you can have that are going to be in the very back of the field.
Yep.
Especially if you're a Custodes player or if you're playing a big elite army, what can you commit to not being in that fight for quite some time?
And that's tough.
It's tough. Very tough.
Our cheapest unit of guard are basically 150 points, right? And that's exactly what was going through my mind. From my perspective, I'm fine committing 3 guard to babysit an objective, and with Tanglefoot, which hopefully, if you use the jump, might be able to keep me, defending an objective. So I thought that was something I'm willing to commit and invest that in holding a resource. The other thing was, because of my limited model count, I needed to have objectives relatively close that I can go between and control. If they're farther apart, I think that favors you because you have more board control. So that was my original thought, and again, I think there was the other thing going was, do I want to place it somewhere out to force you to come out? But then I realized I actually have decent amount of shooting. So if you're just sitting on objectives, I can probably just take some shots with hurricane bolters and things like that and try to clear it. So that was my thought process.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think I'm maybe relying on my Gretchen a lot to score some points, and I've only got 1 unit of it. I think in future lists, I might even think about having more just for that purpose.
Right.
Another thing is there's been a lot of debate in the Orc community of whether the shock attack gun Big Mech sticks around. I think he does because he's a great objective controller. My idea is that depending on what side of the board I'm starting on, he's probably going to start on top of one of these buildings, popping you with his gun while holding an objective. That's a pretty sweet combo.
Yeah. All right.
So now we got to see who's going to have the first placement.
Let's do it. Use your black die.
Regular here. Alrighty, so this is actually the roll off to see who gets to choose the sides.
That's right. Good luck.
Good luck. A 5 and a 5.
Hey, can't start the game any better.
All right,
than 1 or
try
2.
that again. A 3 and a 2.
All right. Where would you like to be, sir?
I actually like that side over there. I think it's much more defensible. And seeing how you place that first objective behind those crates, I love it. I have a game plan already for it.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right, Dustin. Let's have a good game.
Let's have a good game.
Okay, so we're fully deployed now. We'll go over some of our pregame expenditures, maybe some of the things that we were thinking as we were going through deployment. First off, I spent 1 CP on the Captain Commander trait, Strategic Mastermind, which basically gives me a 5+ refund, refund on a 5+. Spent 1 CP on Eternal Penitent for that sweet +1 attack on the Telemon, as well as reroll charges. That'll be fun as well. Maybe we can get Ghaz and the old Telemon.
That Telemon's going to be a problem. I can already see it.
We'll see about that. Those planes are going to be a problem. I can already know about that one. I also spent a CP on Victor of the Blood Games for the Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle Jetbike. 1 more CP to put the Virtus Praetors into Deep Strike as well. And then 1 last CP on Eagle Eye for the Alaris Shield Captain for a 3+ invulnerable save. So I'm down to 7.
Yeah, normally I'd say that was a lot to spend for a Custodian player, but it's interesting because the dynamics of CP expenditure are completely different in 9th. And as you're moving into the edition, this is one thing to be super conscious of, not only in what we've done just now, but also your list building itself.
Yep.
Because before, you wouldn't have that luxury to just go and spend 4 CP.
Oh, no.
Well, on the other hand, usually I'm fielding maybe 18, even more CP.
Right.
I don't have that today. I've got 12. But with that said, there's some things from Saga of the Beast that I do want to showcase. Number 1 is I'm fielding a battalion and a patrol. So the patrol is going to cost me -2 CP, but it's super necessary because my warlord is the big boy himself, the Dreadwall, which is another -1 CP. The big giant relic shock attack gun that blasts
So
Custodes off the map.
Oh,
Let's hope.
gosh.
Let's hope.
All these mortal wounds,
If I get lucky and roll that 11 or 12 in his gun, you're gonna get pasted off the board.
zap.
But in addition, there's some goth things that I think are really cool and I want to showcase. One is the Boyz CP stratagem upgrade for a unit of Boyz. So 30 of my boys over here, the Orange Squad, they have the Boyz upgrade. It gives them +1 to their strength, which I think versus Custodes is going to be super important. So instead of hitting at strength 4, they're hitting at strength 5. That also means that the Knob with his Power Claw is hitting on strength 10. So they're gonna slam you a little harder. They're gonna have a little bit more ease in breaking to that harder armor.
We're gonna have a slap fight, that's for sure.
Yep. I also spent 1 CP for Warphead on my Weird Boy, who is the Death Skulls Weird Boy. I think for 9th edition, Warphead is going to be a critical stratagem for every Orc player because you can't field, 6 to 9 HQs like you could before. So you want to be super efficient with your Weird Boys because previously they only get 1 cast. Warphead gives them 2 casts. So instead of having 2 Weird Boys, I can stack 2 important stratagems, which are going to be Warpath and to jump.
Yep.
That way you can see maybe those Mega Knobs coming in hot from 9 inches.
Not looking forward to that.
I gotta make that charge, right?
Yep. So in terms of deployment, from the Custodes perspective, boy, a lot of things to think about in 9th edition, right? One of the things is the new character targeting, so you have to keep your characters within 3 inches of either a unit with 3+ models, a vehicle, and as a Custodes player where you don't really have a lot of models on the table, it can be awfully challenging to find some ways to protect your characters.
Yeah.
The other thing that really hurts is he's got these burner bombers, right? And so how do you protect your characters while also trying to spread out that splash mortal wound damage? So that was really one of the key elements that I was thinking about in deployment. So as you can see, I've kind of got like 3 little areas, and if he picks and chooses where he's going to go with those burner bombers, hopefully at least a third of the army is mitigated from that potential damage. So that was kind of the first thought that I had going on there. The second thought is he's got that nasty relic shock attack gun. So as much as I can mitigate his ability to target characters, that's going to be beneficial for me as well. We'll have to see if that's going to be a priority for me to take out early in the game. We'll see how the board plays out. But at this point, this is the deployment. It's interesting that we went back with alternating. Like, that's a change from Chapter Approved 2019. It's a change from the ITC. And I kind of like that, right? You played a very smart game that you left your planes last. So I couldn't figure out how do I mitigate, like, if you put your planes down first, I know, all right, where is he going to go? I can kind of play some angles, but you put them down last. So that was...
Yeah, and that kind of deployment also, there's a lot of like warlord traits that lets you redeploy units after the game is already put out there.
Yep.
I think that kind of mind game, you might see it come back. But for my own deployment, again, usually in 8th edition, I would put a lot of stuff in Deep Strike. I did not have that kind of CP to spend because I need to save as much as I can for this big daddy shock attack gun to do his thing. But when I look at a board and I look at the terrain, the thing that I always think about when I bring the shock attack Big Mech is where's going to be his vantage point, where he's going to be hammering down that fire in every lane that he possibly can. Right now where he's at, he can see just about anything on the board except for the guys behind this wall, which is prime positioning. With Ghaz, I put him right on the open, right on the front line. He's pretty slow, but he can't take a lot of damage because of his character trait. So my goal is just to have these boys run up that board screaming and hopefully take this center point from the Custodes as soon as possible. With that said, I've left some stuff in reserve also to maintain my own victory points. So I've got a squad of 10 boys sitting here with the Big Mech, that way he can't get targeted. I've got a small squad of Gretchen over here. By this point, hopefully they're going to hold it and not get killed by Virtus Praetors later on in the game. I've got 30 boys.
Or Stiff Breeze.
Or Stiff Breeze, yeah. I got 30 boys sitting back here in the objective. They're either going to hold this back area or they're going to get dejumped. Not sure yet. We've got all the characters clumped in the center. That way they can move and advance with the squad as the game goes. So we've got the Wa Banner, we've got the Pain Boy, and we've got Makari snuggled in deep right by his boss and the Big Mech applying the custom force field. That way if something does come out, let's say he peeks that Telemon and tries to shoot at my guys, at least I'll have something to keep him on the board. So the 5++ save and then the Pain Boy save for the Feel No Pain.
Yep. All right, so I think at this point, it's basically... So your Warlord is pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the Shock Attack Big Mech.
Ooh.
And he's going to have...
Not the big Warlord.
No, not the big boy. His Warlord trait isn't really that impressive,
right,
while the Big Mech gains a lot more from that extra +1 to wound versus
Absolutely.
vehicles.
Absolutely. My Warlord's going to be the Shield Captain on Untitled Jet Bike. All right, so this is a big roll. Thinking about, do you want to go first or second? What are your thoughts there?
That's a tough choice. You kind of null deploy me, and I expected that with Custodes. The big thing for me is the Telemon. What is the Telemon going to do? If I don't take first turn, then the Telemon can peek and get some fire on the Burn Obama on the far side, or maybe my squad of Orange Boys. I don't know. I think I'd like to go first, also just to have a better dictation of how the Deep Strike goes.
Right.
But we'll see. I want to get up the board as fast as I possibly can.
Yep. I've always typically liked to go second. You know, the way that I'm deployed right now, it's relatively conservative. I think that I can weather some damage. I do think there are some merits in going first, though, as well. Now that I know where his planes are, I can reposition, and maybe even... I think it's unlikely I don't have very much firepower on the board, but there's a chance I might be able to take one out. So, with that being said, I think I go either way.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Good luck.
Here's the
And
roll.
now, there's no +1 to the rolls. It's
That's
just
right.
who wins the roll-off. Good luck, sir.
Yep.
I'll use the white dice. Oh.
A 3 and a 2.
All right.
Oh, now I have the tough choice. The more I think about it, I think the more I want to see that Telemon poke its head out of that building. The reason being is that once he does, the shock attack gun
Can do his thing.
He'll have it with total impunity because you won't. Yes, you might get my Burn Obama, knock off a couple of boys, but I think if you peek your head out, you're going to get pasted. So
You might be right.
enjoy the first turn.
Ooh. I don't know how much enjoyment there's going to be. A lot of pain. You have a pain boy there, right?
I have a Pain Boy and Makari. They both do the same Feel No Pain now.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. But a lot of fun. A lot of contrast in the armies. They play very similar, but should be a really good game.
Yep.
All right, Dustin.
Good luck.
We will see you at command phase, turn 1 for Custodes. Okay, well, battle round 1, Custodes turn 1. In the command phase, I was able to secure 2 points by holding 2 objectives. I also regenerated 1 command point as well for being battle forged. So that was my command phase. Moving on to the Custodes movement phase, Not too much. I did make a risky play, which I'm not really known for doing, but I felt that it would be beneficial. So here's what I did. Move the shield captain up 14 inches, which gets him within 24 of this burner bomber. He does have the salvo launcher, so that's a melt-to-missile that should be able to put some damage into him. And then I also moved the Talon, instead of going to the front side, to the back side. A couple of reasons I wanted to do that. It does protect him a little bit. He's going to get 36-inch range on his Arachnus Storm Cannon into the burner bomber. And also gives him a little bit more distance up there, so he might get one extra round of shooting before they have to commit. The Constantine Valdor over here, the Alaris Shield Captain advanced to give rerolls here, and the Vexilla just kind of snuck around to try to give a -1 hit. The other Guardian Squad down here, they stayed stationary, as well as the Guardian Squad on Objective 4. They remained stationary. And that was the end of Custodes' movement phase. Moving on to the second phase. Don't have one. Going on to Custodes' shooting phase, turn 1. Alright, starting with the shooting phase, we've really only got 2 things, and it's going to be a stroke of luck to be able to take this thing out. It's not likely, but we'll see what happens. So first thing that I'm going to shoot is the Telamon. It moved, but now that there's no more penalties for movement, he's going to be hitting on 2s, and he does have the reroll aura. So shooting the Arachnus Storm Cannon, hitting on 2s, both hits. It's strength 8 to toughness 6, so I'm wounding on 3s, and I do get to reroll for this against vehicles. So I will reroll this 2, it's 1 wound. And it's 2 wounds. And this will be at -4, I believe, and flat 3 damage.
Well, fortunately, we were lucky get, so we'll at least have a 6-up invuln. Let's see if he can make him. Hey,
there you go.
Give me that damage.
It's got 3, just flat 3 for 1.
Flat 3. All right, that brings him down to 9.
Okay. And then we're going to shoot the salvo launcher from the Dawn Eagle Jet Bike Captain. He's got 1 shot, hitting on 1s, rerolling 1s. It's on a 6. It's going to be strength 8 against toughness 6, so hitting on 3s, but also gets to reroll for that melt rule. So it also wounds. It's going to be at AP -4.
Let's see if I'm still a lucky get. Oh my goodness.
Super lucky. All right.
That ruins my plan of just crashing on turn 1.
So that's really all that I can do for Custodes turn 1. That's my shooting. There's no charges, there's no fights, and there's no morale.
Okay.
So we are going to move on to Orks turn 1.
So to quickly summarize the command phase, like Brian, I scored my 2 VP from sitting on the back objective here and the other back objective here. We had a big mob of Boyz standing on top of it and some Grots sneaking their little bitty toes on this one. And of course I regenerated the 1 CP, putting me back up to 8, which is going to be delicious for that shock attack gun.
Okay.
In terms of the movement, like I said before, everything just kind of surged forward. Didn't have the best advance rolls for Thraka and the Boyz, but we're inching up slowly by slowly and keeping those character auras as best we can around the mob. We've got the Mega Knobs right here, and I'm kind of determining whether I want to jump the Mega Knobs or to jump the squad of Blue Boyz over here. After looking at Brian's movement in turn 1, I saw a bit of a chink in his armor with his Guardians over here. And this is going to be important for what happens next. I'm really considering these folks as a jump target, because if I can get a squad over here, kill these Guardians, this point is going to be mine for a long period in the game. That brings us to the big play in the turn 1 movement phase, the Burner Bombers, and these are going to be exciting. So the first one over here, this is the undamaged one. What I'm going to have this one do is pass over the Guardians over here and drop his bombs. What they're going to do is I'm going to roll 3 dice, that's 1 dice for each member of the unit, and every 4+ is going to be a mortal wound. He's then going to fly off the table using the new aircraft rules for 9th edition and reappear back on turn 2 as strategic reserves. Now the other Burner Bomber, this is where it's going to get really exciting. He didn't take that much damage, but you know what? Devil may care attitude. He is going in hot. First things first, he's going to fly over the Guardians that are in this house, drop his bombs just like the ones over here, and then comes the spicy part. We got a big clump of a lot of people right here. We've got the Guardians, we've got the Vexilla, we've got the character, and we've got the Telamon. We're going to spend 1 CP, and we're going to give him the flying headbutt. 3 flat mortal wounds on everything within 6 inches. Youch. So, let's start with this fella right here and have him zoom right away like the coward that he is. So first, he's going to move 50 inches and auto advance 20 and go pew, bow, 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 and drop his bombs on the Guardians. So let's see that roll real fast. That's going to be 1 mortal wound on your Guardians.
All right. 1 more wound.
So now we're going to see one of the most exciting combos that I found in Saga the Beast.
Exciting for you.
Just you wait. And that's the flying headbutt stratagem. So this bomber took a little bit of damage, but when he clumped up his guys over here, he put himself in a position where we are in a position to do some incredible damage. The game plan here is we're going to take the burner bomber and he's going to fly over after making his turn, drop bombs on the Guardian squad inside, and then he's going to find himself right here within 6 inches of all of these units, the characters, the infantry, and the vehicle. Then at the end of the movement turn, he's going to trigger the flying headbutt stratagem for 1 CP, exploding. And with the burner bomber, which is why they're so fantastic for the stratagem, is they do flat 3 mortal wounds. No D3, flat 3 mortal wounds. It's huge. What's exciting about it too is not many characters can survive that twice, and that's why we got 2 burner bombers. So let's see it in action. First we're going to pivot. Then we have the proper angle to actually do the bombing run before this guy dies in a fiery explosion. We're going to pass over the spearmen, drop the bombs, which we're going to roll right now because the sequence of this is important. So there's 3 guys in the squad. That means 3d6. Every 4 up plus is a mortal wound. Ooh,
That'll kill one.
spicy, spicy.
So we'll take a spear guard out.
And so this sequence is super important because you saw that I got 3 mortal wounds in the squad. They have 3 wounds each. If I would have gotten, say, 2 mortal wounds, that flat 3 mortal wounds from the plane's explosion would have been a lot less effective. But now here it comes. Kaboom! Splat! Down goes another one, reducing that squad to 1 man, and all of these guys are taking damage too.
Okay. So there is an option that I have. If I want to spend 1 CP, Custodes have a stratagem called Indomitable Engines, which gives me a 5+ feel no pain against mortal wounds. On the Toma, I don't think it's worth it. I already have a 6+, so I'm just going to go with the 6+. So let's see what we got there. And I save 1 and I take 2, so he's down to 12 wounds. All right. And then everybody else will take 3.
There you go.
Ouch.
Not bad.
Speak for yourself.
So another important 8 versus 9th change I want to point out is how deep strike denial, coherency, and movement really work. So whenever I was originally deploying my guys, I made a bit of a mistake where I left 9 inches out here, where all those Terminators could come in and just pile on, kill my SAG. I definitely don't want that. So what I did here is I spread out the unit of 10 Ork boys in such a way to where they can maintain coherency while at the same time maintaining the character protections. That way that SAG can't get shot at. Unfortunately, he's not nearly as defensible as a shield captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike, so I gotta be really, really careful here. So what I did was I had the buddy system essentially. So you got 2 boys that are standing right next to each other to maintain that coherency. And then you've got another one that is within that vertical distance and then snaking into the building again, all kind of having like these little triangle type shapes to maintain that coherency no matter what. And then you've got 1 boy in the front here that maintains the character protection for the character there. Important distinction, and I think you really need to think about this when you're going through deep strike denial. So we come to the psychic phase, and this is an important phase for every Ork player, especially those that are equipped with the jump. In this case, my warpath has to jump and warpath. And there's an important sequence here. You always want a warpath before you to jump. That will give that extra punching power for your boys or whoever you send in. At this stage, I'm always looking for what are great to jump targets. And so looking at the board, I see 2 places where I'm really thinking about it. One is these Guardians over here. They're sitting on a point, it's super isolated. And during the movement phase, I really thought we could go for that and take that point from them. And I was thinking about doing that with my Mega Knobs. The more I thought about it though, Tanglefoot Grenade is a very, very serious problem. If they fail that charge, they're really hung out to dry. On the flip side, we've got a shield captain over there that's super exposed, in prime position to get charged by the boys and shot by the boys. I think in this case, as I thought through it more and more, I'm probably going to send a squad of boys on that captain, maybe to plink a couple of wounds from their guns and then do the charge on top of them. We'll see. First I got to get the cast though, right? Looking at the weird boy who's positioned here, he's around about 20 models, which is going to give him a +2 to his roll. So first we're going to cast Warpath, and we're going to put it on the squad of blue boys right here. So here it comes. A 5 + 3 is going to be enough to cast Warpath successfully. So
what is it? What is it cast on now? What is it? That becomes a...
It becomes a 8.
Here comes an 8. I don't think I'm within 24.
Now you're a little shy.
Nope, so you're good to go.
So +1 attack over here. Now here's the big one, the jump. Can we make it? Ooh, that's actually a fail. So they are staying put. All that for nothing. But at least they're jazzed up.
You do have command points if you would like to use it for the psychic test.
You know what? I'm so on the fence of whether or not I want to do the jump in the first place. Because they get in a position where they are more exposed. And again, to Brian's article on Patience in Play, maybe it's worthwhile for my SAG to soften up the Telemon, maybe kill the captain before we super commit. So
Sure.
we're going to let that ride. Plus, I don't want to rely on a dice roll for CP. I need that CP, and you're about to see me blow through a lot.
Here we go.
Top of the shooting phase, we don't really have that much shooting because we're orcs and we're pretty low range. We have 2 that are in range, and one is going to be Ghaz Thraka. He got a brand new gun called Mork's Roar, and we're going to let that poor Stranded Shield captain have it right in the face. Normally the character rule's protecting him, but again, new 9th edition rules, he's exposed, we're going to take some pot shots.
Jeez, there's no protection here. He's just flapping out in the wind.
All right, so we've got 12 shots, strength 5. We've got some DACA and some more DACA. We've actually got 4 DACAs, so we're going to pick up 4 dice. Didn't help. Alrighty. The toughness on your show captain is 6.
That is correct.
So I'm looking for 5s. It's going to be 2 at -1.
All right, so we're looking for 3s.
You're good. He laughs at it. Now here comes the big.
That was a very Simba-esque roar, not a Mufasa roar.
Yeah, the joke I always have with Raka's gun is it really is more noise than action, because he typically doesn't hit very well with it. Now for the big boss though, the Shock Attack Big Mech. He's got the relic gun, so he's going to really output some damage. First we're going to see how many shots he has. It's going to be 2d6 because he has the relic. He's got 6 shots. Okay. Now we're going to check out the strength.
And what's interesting here is Custodes do have a cool new stratagem called Emperor's Auspice, which allows you to deny rerolls when your opponent has chosen a unit as a target. But because they get to roll before declaring the target, I don't get to use that. So I'm going to be taking this SAG, this relic SAG, right in the face.
First let's see how strong it's going to be. A 9. Ooh, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what though, if this was 8th edition, I would really, really strongly consider rerolling that 4 into a 6 or better, because if you get the 11 or the 12 with the Shock Attack gun, you're doing D3 mortal wounds on top of your hits. 9th edition, you don't have that because the specificness of the rerolls is very, very important. I can't reroll special dice like that in that time. So we are going to nominate the Talon as a target.
Okay. And I will actually use 2 stratagems here. Because it is strength 9, Shadowkeepers do have a stratagem called Grim Responsibility, which subtracts 1 from the strength of that attack, bringing it down to 8. And he's toughness 8, so instead of wounding me on 3s, that's going to be wounding me on 4s now. So we'll spend 1 CP there. And I will also spend 2 CP on the Emperor's Auspice, because he has the ability to reroll 1 hit, wound, and damage roll, correct?
That is correct.
So, well, you know what? You're not doing mortal wounds right now.
Not right now.
You're not doing mortal wounds. The AP is -4. I have a 4+. Yeah, instead of using the Emperor's Auspice, I think I'm going to use 1 CP on half damage.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense with the SAG.
I think we'll do that.
Versus D6 damage.
Yeah. So we'll see if I get a refund. So I'm going to use 2 CP on a 5+. I get refunded. And I do not. So I'm down to 6 CP now.
And we are using more DACA on the SAG, so he's going to be generating more hits on 5s and 6s instead of just 6s with DACA. So here we go. We're fishing for those 5s and 6s. Alrighty, we've got 5 and 2 6s. That's pretty good. We're going to have 3 extra shots because of more DACA. And that generated 2 more hits. So not bad for orc shooting. 5 out of 6 hits. Here's the important part with the Big Mech, since he is the Warlord and he has the big killer boss. We're strength 6, so we're normally wounding you on 5s. He has +1 to wound versus vehicle, so it's 4s. And then your stratagem is pushing it back to 5s again, correct?
It's -1 to strength.
Yeah. Oh, -1 to strength.
To strength, not to wound.
Yeah, so that's important then. So he's going to be still winning you on 4s.
That's right.
Yep. Here it comes. Let's see what he can do. So that's going to be 3 wounds.
Okay. he's good.
And yeah, I'll just let it ride. So it's massive AP, so it's going to be under invuln
All right,
save.
so Talon is a 4+ invulnerable. Let's see what we can do. Saves 2.
That's pretty
takes
good.
1.
Here comes the D6 damage. Oh, that
For
hurts.
1.
That hurts.
I do also get a feel no pain. Show me that 6.
Don't add insult to injury. We're not satisfied though. The shock attack gun is going to fire again.
Okay.
He's part of the Dreadwa Specials Battalion. He's going to spend 2 CP for custom ammo and do it all over again. So first, let's see that strength. 7. Number of shots. 8. Alrighty, let's give it a go. This is on the Talon again. Not too great. 3 hits. Let's see if I can spice those dice up again. Nope, just 1 more hit. So that's going to be 4 hits. And now we're strength 7, which you're reducing by 1 to 6.
To 6, yep.
So I'd be winning with 5s, plus 1 because of his warlord trait. So 4s. It's going to be 2 wounds.
Okay. We'll take that again on the invuln. And we take 1 more.
Alright, let's see if I can do a little bit better than 1 damage. Oh, that hurts. That's 4 CP for 2 damage.
Let's see if we can save that too. And we do not.
All
So
right.
we're down to 10 wounds on the old Talon.
Alrighty, so that's the end of the shooting phase. It's also going to be no charge phase because all my boys are way too far out of range. So we move on to the morale phase. We had a squad over here lose 2 guys. Are there any leadership issues with your fellas?
Let's double check that. I don't believe so. I think we're going to be okay.
And unfortunately, Custodes are very brave individuals. And despite the fact that I've depleted this poor squad down to a single man, their leadership is unfortunately too high to make a test.
Whew, so that's the end of battle round 1. So far, I feel there hasn't been too many changes that we've noticed between the editions.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think one of the things from the psychic phase, you only have the 1 weird boy, but
Yes.
if you had more psychers, you would have to resolve all of his powers first and foremost. I haven't taken any damage, or I haven't taken any saves on the guards yet that I would have to declare who's going to take the save, but once I declare which model in that unit is going to take the save, he's got to take the rest of the saves for that phase, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, yeah.
So those are a couple of things that we've noticed, but so far nothing really out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, the fight phase is where things are going to get really spicy.
Mhm.
And just as with 8th edition, you see that come to play really turn 2, turn 3 later in the game.
Right.
So be prepared to see some big differences in the subsequent turns.
Yeah. But overall, from my perspective, I definitely got off light with the jump. I did, so in my original deployment, I had 1 infantry model next to each group. I was expecting there to be to jump somewhere that I could Tanglefoot that. Now with the new command reroll abilities, I cannot reroll a Tanglefoot result. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be very interesting going forward and something for Custodes players to consider. One of my plays, which I did the last time we played, is kind of bait out the shield captain. I know it's really risky to do against, the only other point you can score is slay the warlord, right?
Yeah.
However, he's really durable. He's got the 5+ feel no pain, 3+ invulnerable save, can re-roll that with Victors of the Blood game, can get another re-roll on a save. So he did go for the Talon, which I did spend quite a few CP to protect him, but overall it took 2 wounds, which I can guarantee you that's not going to happen again if the Sag shoots. So overall, I think I'm in a pretty decent position right now. I got off light.
You killed a plane.
Kill the plane. In ITC, I would get kill more.
That's true.
Yay.
Kill more.
kill more. How do you think it went?
It was really a mixed bag. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the SAG. Sometimes he can be the most amazing unit that just literally can break a game.
Right.
But sometimes he just doesn't show up, and that was very much the case for him. I spent a ton of CP for him to do 2 wounds. If you look at the costs of the battle, you can't just think of how many points have I killed.
Right.
You also got to think how much CP have I made the other person expend. Because I can't go supernova like that every single turn.
Right.
I might be able to do that one more time, and to have so little come of that, it hurts really bad.
Yeah.
But with that said, I was super pleased with how the Burn Bomb turned out. He got a great roll to kill one of your boys, and then the explosion killed another one. So all in all, pretty good. I'm interested to see, how things shake up, because you've got a lot of hurricane boulders maybe coming my way, and that's scary if you're hanging with the boys. So We'll see.
We'll see how it all plays out. So we're moving on to Custodes turn 2. Alright, so Custodes turn 2. We're in the command phase. I was able to get 1 more CP, so I'm back up to 7. Scored 2 victory points for holding 2 objectives. So we'll start on the far end of the board here. What I basically did was just position them to kind of screen out a little bit better in case he tries to do his jump move again, and I can throw some Tanglefoots in that way. Same thing over here, just kind of spread out a little bit, trying to get access to auras. So the Vexilla here is within 6 inches of the bike and the Telemon and everything here, so they'll be able to get -1. The Shield Captain here is within 6 inches of the Telemon to provide him with his aura for reroll 1s. This Shield Captain is also within 6 inches of these 2 squads. The Alaris came down first over here, and they have a nifty stratagem that allows them to target characters. So we're really hoping that we can take out that Warlord there to score the point that I need for this game to get ahead. And then the Virtus Praetors also came down. I've got a couple of interesting options here. I know this is a really buffed up squad of boys, and if I don't deal with them sooner than later, they're really going to be a pain in the butt to deal with. So basically, they've come down, they're just trying to probably plink off some boys, and then we'll see if we can get ahead on the points here. Going into the shooting phase. Psychic phase, but there's no psychic phase. Now into the shooting phase. Alright, so no psychic phase for the Custodes. We're going to go right into the shooting phase, and I'm going to go from the units that really don't have an option to the units that do have an option for shooting. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to use the squad of 6 Alaris Terminators here, and they're going to use 2 CP on Inescapable Vengeance, as well as another CP for Superior Fire Patterns, which basically doubles the shots that they get. They're going to target the Warlord here. So essentially they would each get 1 shot. We weren't exactly sure how the ranged worked. They are outside of 12, so it doesn't really matter. So each one will get 12 shots total there, going right into the mech boy. And then the grenade launchers, we will put those grenade launchers into the boys here. Alright, we're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Okay, all hits. And he is toughness 5. So I am winning on 5 here. Pretty good. That's pretty good. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at -1. These are flat 2 damage each.
We are in the piece of terrain giving us +1 to our cover. That's going to give us a 4-up save. Ooh, that's not looking good for him. How much damage did you say it was?
We're going to be 2 damage each.
Yeah, there's no way to save him. Unfortunately, that is the end of that fella. Sorry, buddy.
Alright. So that works out. I now get the deny or slay the Warlord point. And actually, I'm going to roll to see if we get any CP back from the 3 that I used. So on 5+, we'll get 1 back. So. Okay, so next shooting from that squad, we're going to do the Ballistus Grenade Launchers. They're going to have D3 shots each. How many shots we get? Let's try to get 1, 2, 3, 2, and 2 more. And these are going into the boys there again. So again, hitting on 2s, rerolling the 1s. Good shooting.
T4 on the boys.
T4 on the boys, okay.
Yep, they're strength 5.
Strength 5. Alright, so winning off the boys. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at -3.
Alright, well fortunately we got a custom force field hanging out right next to him. That's going to be a 5-up. We're going to save 2 of them. But we've also got the Pain Boy and Makari hanging out, giving them a 6-up fellow pain. Nothing there, so it's going to be 3 dead Orc boys.
Alright, wonderful. So this is interesting, right? Because you're probably thinking about coherency and things of that nature now?
I'm thinking about coherency, I'm also thinking about the charges. I would rather your shield captains not get some extra free damage, so I think I'm actually going to pull from the front here and make it slightly harder.
I say that's a wise decision. Because also now this guy won't be in double tap range of those boys.
That is a bonus.
Alright, we'll use next the shield captain. He's going to shoot into, he's going to go into Ghaz there. So let's roll it, see what happens. Hitting on 2s, okay. And Ghaz's toughness 7, I believe, right?
I believe that's correct.
So it will be on a 3, strength 8 to tough to 7, but I do not reroll because it's only against vehicles. So I do win you on a 4.
Okay. Big Boy has a 2+ save for Pinfall. How much AP am I looking at here?
-4.
Oh, well, for Pinfall. Oh no.
D6 damage. Would you like to reroll that?
No, I think you can take it.
Alright, let's see how much damage you do. Come on, give me 4 at least.
Oh,
there we
goodness.
go.
Well, let's see if I can do the fill no pains. A good roll.
Very
So he's going to take
nice.
3.
So that's actually pretty big now, because Ghaz has a rule that he can only take 4 damage max in a phase.
That's correct.
So if I want to max out that damage on Ghaz, I actually have to dedicate some more shooting to get that 1 extra wound. Will it be worth it? Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. All right, so next we're going to go, we'll declare shooting on the bikes here. There's only 4 that are going to be in double tap range now. So that's going to be 48 shots and then 6 more from the last guy. I will, let's see, I'm just going to let that ride. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use 1 more CP on Blood Game Veterans. The reason I picked a squad of 5 is because it's only 1 CP, and on 6s, it auto wounds as well. So the hit auto wounds. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll be back. I'm going to grab a whole bucket full of dice, and we'll roll it out. All right, so 48 plus 6 is 54. 54.
You need me to load you up here?
Oh, please, that would be great. What a wonderful play partner we have here. All right, 54 Hurricane Bolter shots, hitting on 2, re-rolling 1s.
Is there a single 1 in there?
That's 2 of them.
Okay.
4, 5.
Yeah, that's a good roll. That's a lot of 6s.
That's a lot of 6s, so these are going to auto wound. So we'll just take these out now.
Oh boy.
And then we will re-roll these 1s here. Oh, 1 more 6. Wonderful. All right.
The
So
single miss.
missed 1 shot. That's great. All right, and your toughness 4, is that right?
Yeah, T4.
Okay, T4. So let's get this here. So this might be overkill, but in my mind, because they do have the save, a lot of boys there, and the feel no pain, I want to just kill dead. Let's just do what we can and see if we can get it done. Moving on 4s now.
An average.
So I can't even count all that because I can't count or read it right. If you want to add all that, plus these here, these are all of your saves, sir.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 33 saves. Well, I got 30 boys.
It's very likely that there will be boys at the end of this.
All right, so we got a 5 up from the 4th field, and then the 6 up from Akari and the Pain Boy. Ugh.
Keeping the saves?
Yeah, just keeping the saves.
Cute.
Oh boy, that's a lot of dice. Let's hope for more 6s. Oh no. Okay, how many dead fellas we got? 5, 10, 15, 20 dead. Alright, let's start pulling. Thankfully, Ghazghul has the boss's watching ability, which is going to let them ignore the morale check at the cost of D3 mortal wounds. So, yikes.
All right, so we're also going to pour the Telemon shots. They're actually going to go into the knobs here. Was debating on whether to shoot the boys, but realistically, the shots aren't going to take them out, and I'd like to force Dustin with the decision. So you can spend some CP. He's got a couple of other choices, as he just mentioned. So we're going to put some shots in the knob. So hitting on 2s for both the Spiculous and the Arachnus, and I'm going to use the heavy profile for the strength 8 profile. So let's see that. Okay, all hits. And I'll do the flat damage on the cannon first. It's going to be wounding on 3s, but no rerolls because I'm not. So just 1 flat 3 damage at -4.
Alright, I'm going to put it on this fella right here who's hanging his head out.
Okay.
Set it to -4.
It is a -4.
So we're going to have the 5 up invuln from the custom force field.
Okay.
Which we do not save.
Close.
How much damage are we looking
It's
at?
going to be flat 3.
Flat 3. That'll kill one if the Pain Boy can't save him. Which he doesn't. It's going to be a dead Mega Knob.
Alright, and then we'll do the Spiculous. Those are strength 5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, strength 5, AP -1.
Okay.
So that's going to be a miss. You'll have 4 at
-1.
-1. Yeah, these are flat. These are 1 damage each.
So it's going to be a 3 up save. Oh, we're gonna fill 2 of them. That's rough. What damage?
1 damage each.
We'll just take that. First we'll do the Pain Boy save. Yeah, well, I only take 1.
There it is. And I believe that's it for my. I think that's it for my shooting phase. I think we can go on to the charge phase here. All right, so moving on to the charge phase, it would be a 10-inch charge to get into the Boyz here. Dustin has positioned Ghaz very strategically. He would be able to heroically intervene there. And honestly, I want to keep Dustin to make. I want him to make a decision. And based upon that decision, I think that's going to dictate some of the game. So I'm actually going to keep the bikes just sitting still. Other than that, no charge, no fight. We can move on to the morale phase.
Yeah, the morale phase is going to be a serious issue for me because I lost a ton of Boyz. Now with Orks, you've got 2 really big situations of getting out of that morale conundrum whenever you lose that many Boyz. One is mob rule. If my squad from Blue Squad was a little bit closer, they would have fantastic leadership. They would have leadership 27, in which case, you know, I wouldn't lose any more Boyz. Unfortunately, they're a little too far away. That was a misplay on my part. But what we still do have is the boss is watching from Thraka. It's one of his abilities. So what he's going to do is he's going to execute D3 of those Boyz to make them stay put. So let's do that real fast, see how many Boyz are going to die.
That is such a cool rule.
So it's going to be 2 mortal wounds, but
Got the pain.
I got the Pain Boy. Let's see if Pain Boy fixes one. Nope, that's going to be 2
I feel
dead
like
ones.
Ghaz would be really upset as he's trying to shoot some Boyz, and the Pain Boy's like, no. Let's keep him around. But,
So we're going to pull from the back, hopefully to think about, do we want to make that charge, or do we want to revive the entire squad on the next turn? It's a tough choice. I really got to think about it, because it's a ton of CP.
Alright, so that will be the end of Custodes turn 2. Moving on to Orks.
Bottom of turn 2, looking at the command phase, I regened another CP, which brought me up to 5, which is a very, very important number for what's going to come next in the movement phase. I also scored 2 VP for the points here and here. My game plan for this is to change that, to menace more of his objectives. Looking into the future of this turn and how I've moved my units, I know that every unit he has on the board has really, really sharp teeth. A lot of my units don't. So if I'm going to menace him, I can't menace him really in big threats. I can menace him in how I can capture objectives. I have more models, so even if I'm fighting a squad of 3 spear dudes, if I get 30 models, I'm going to take that objective from him. So that's the game plan moving into the movement phase. And you kind of see where things have been arrayed. So number 1, let's come over here to the most inconsequential part. We had a bunch of Boyz in here that were protecting the shock attack mech who got absolutely pasted, and I think Brian actually did me a favor because I have some very important CP stuff to spend and I don't want to be tempted by that gun. So I took the Boyz out of here and arrayed them to where they are blocking the Terminators. My goal here isn't to charge the Terminators because I know that they will lose in combat. My goal is for them to sit here, that way the Terminators can't go very far forward. It's a waiting game. For anyone who's played AOS, this is a really critical tactic for stalling out powerful units from actually getting onto the important objectives. Over here, my Mega Knob's got a pretty good advance roll, and they're in prime range to charge the bikes. The bikes are the biggest threat from my view on the board, and I want to make sure I kill them. I've saved 1 CP for the fight phase if they make the charge to enhance their damage, the new stratagem from Saga the Beast. The banner is in range to help him, as well as Thraka, to give him another attack. If everything fails, and gosh, I hope it doesn't, the big mech here is there to protect him a little bit, along with the Pain Boy. The Pain Boy also healed one of the wounds on the Mega Knobs and used the Meta Squig stratagem to heal Thraka D3. Unfortunately, only got a 1, but it brings Thraka up to a 10, which is important with the dynamic of how he takes wounds. That way, if you could kind of break that combo of taking 4 per turn, it lets him live a little bit longer. Thraka is an important place, and if in 8th edition, he would be in a really, really prime place. So in 8th, he would have 2 targets, the primary one being the bikes, which need to die. But in 8th, he would also have the target of the Guardian that's here in the building. Now in 9th, whoever you declare it, you got to get on him. So I have to really make a hard, important choice of, do I want to make the charge here to kill the bikes, or do I want to try to get over here and capture the point? Tough, tough, tough choice. Makari's hanging right by to give him a feel no pain if he gets into that combat. We'll see. I still got to think on that for a little bit. Meanwhile, I spent a big 3 CP to bring back that huge squad of orange that got decimated by those bikers. So the full squad of 30 is reappearing on a table edge within 6 inches, but here's the kicker. Now they're menacing this point. So now I've got the 2 points I already have, and I'm menacing the center one here with Makari and Ghaz, and now I'm menacing this one that he's been safely holding. If these guys can make the charge, I think it can turn the game. But we really got to see how things show up in the middle of the board first. And finally, the Burn Obama also came in from Strategic Reserves, redeploying in my deployment zone. He's not going to be able to do much. His guns are out of range. He can't move because he's already counting as moving when he came in. So it's turn 3. We might see another flying headbutt. So I'll make sure to save another CP for that at the top of or the bottom of turn 3. So moving into the psychic phase, it's time for the weird boy to do his thing. The big thing that we want to have happen here is for him to successfully cast Warpath. I was very close to making a misplay here, but he is just barely within range to get Warpath on the Mega Knobs, who are hopefully going to go into battle and do some real damage. So right off the bat, let's give it a roll. We have a +2 to this cast. That's an easy success with a 7. Any denies?
No, I don't think I have anybody within 24 inches to use a stratagem for denies. So.
Yeah, I think we're in the same kind of situation
Yep.
with it. So it's going to be +1 attack for all the Mega Knobs. The next cast we're going to do is actually one of the rare defensive uses of the jump. What I want to do is take these boys that are right here and actually put them behind the house so they can't get shot at. So let's see if I can make it. Again, a +2. Another easy success with a 9 total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these boys and actually remove them from here and put them to where they're on the other side of this house, where line of sight is blocked from his Custodes and his bikers. That way, if he wants to get me off this point, he's really, really, really going to have to commit to it. That does mean I'm kind of stranding my weird boy out here, but I think it's a valuable enough gamble to take, because at the end of the day, points are the only thing that matters. All right, so Orc shooting phase turn 2. We want to put a couple extra wounds on those bikers, just as...
He wants to put the extra wounds. I don't want those wounds on there.
We'll see how many 2+ saves he can roll. So we're going to have some of those Mega Knobs first unload with their custom shooters that they're armed with, alongside their power claws.
And those are strength 4 guns, and I'm really tempted to use Grim Responsibility, because that brings him down to strength 3, which means he would be wounding me on 6s.
Ugh.
However, I think I'm going to hold the CP because resource management is very important right now. So I'm gonna hold back. Let's see what he does.
Okay, here it comes. We're only hitting on 6s, because unfortunately we advanced as Goths. Evil Sons are a popular pick and they have no penalty for moving.
They are within 6 inches of the Vexilla, but that doesn't matter because 6s, unmodified 6s, always score a hit.
That's right, and 8th edition for Orcs, and now a 9th edition for everybody. We do got 8 6s, which means 8 Dakas. Pew pew pew. Rest in peace, Big Mac. Alright. Whoa, hello!
There you go.
It's gonna be 3 more hits.
We have toughness 6.
So 5s. It's gonna be just 2 saves for you.
Just the 2 saves.
No problem.
You just
Hey!
We'll take 1 wound.
There we go. Thraka will do the same thing.
Okay.
He's got 12 shots with Mork's Roar. And this one's going to be strength 5 minus 1 AP, 1 damage. He did not advance, because he can't advance and charge. So he's hitting on 5s. And good things, they got quite a few 5s there.
Is he always hit on modified 5s?
No, I didn't advance him, so he didn't have the penalty for his assault weapons.
He's within 1 inch of the Vexilla, it's -1 to hit.
Good points, good points. The 5s are going to be misses. The 6s got 3 of them, so Daka. Didn't help. Then we gotta roll 5s again. That's 2 at -1.
Alright, 2 at -1. He's going to be 3 ups now. He takes 1 more.
Okay, soften them up a bit. We got some pistols over here with the boys facing the Terminators. I'm not going to fuss with them. I'm just going to throw a single tank buster grenade instead.
Alrighty.
And we didn't make it. So that is the short or shooting phase. But here's where the magic happens, charge phase. We got a lot of charges to declare, so let's see how it goes. Alright, it's Orc charge phase, and this is a big one. We're going to start right off the bat with Ghazghul Thraka declaring on those big nasty
But
bikers.
at the start of the charge phase,
Oh boy. This guy.
a lot of decisions to make. So just like I tried to force Dustin to make a lot of choices, he really put me in a position that I have to choose. So I need to use Tanglefoot. The Tanglefoot Grenade, I'm going to put him on the Mega Knobs here because realistically I think that's a 7-inch charge
That's
right
a
now. 6-inch charge. If I can make that much more than a 6-inch charge
Yeah.
and try to keep the bikes alive, that's going to be incredibly important for me to come back in this game. If the Boyz make it in, it's a 28% chance for them to get to there, and I do think that if I am able to keep the bikes alive, then they might be able to take that back. So, Tanglefoot Grenade, let's see what the roll is here.
Before you do that though, looking at it over here, keep in mind we have Here We Go with the rerolls. So the chance of them getting in is actually more around like 47%.
That's right, because you get to re-roll all of the dice.
Yeah, and if they get in here, it's going to be tough to dislodge them.
That's true. Well, I'm still going to stay with the Mega Knobs because I do think that there's some vulnerability. If I can jump over them, I might be able to get to some of the stuff around here. So let's see what happens here. What is the... So it's 2, which is still a very doable charge.
Yeah, an 8-incher.
And I cannot re-roll that now with the CP. So
Yep.
I'm down to 3.
Well, we're still going to send Thraka in first.
Okay.
He has also a 6-incher, so give me them Hurricane Bolters. I'm doing him first because to mitigate damage.
That's right.
He can take a maximum amount, and those Mega Knobs, I mean, you could easily kill 2 or 3 of them just from shooting because you have so many shots.
So the other decision that I need to make here, I've already used a CP for Tanglefoot. Do I need to pay a CP for Overwatch?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to pay that CP. I think I really want to hold on to that.
Okay.
So
let me come in.
yeah, roll your distance.
All right, let's see it. So let's see what Thraka can do. Oh, 3! That's not good. We're going to, Here We Go, reroll both of those because we need a 6. That hurts.
That feels great. I know Dustin is really hurting right now. As much hurt as you're feeling, Dustin.
It's a big hurt.
Just know that I feel great, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna let you have it. Those Megas are coming in next.
All right, let's see it.
Come on, Megas. 5. It's dangerously close. I'm definitely picking up the 2. I pick up the 3 too. I think I do. Let's see what happens.
Needs the 8.
Gosh.
Tanglefoot Grenade.
That's bad news. Okay.
Those are 2 big ones.
Yeah, it's huge. The last chance here is can these Boyz make their 9-incher onto the Custodes in the house? 4, we're going to reroll both. 8.
Oh,
see, this is why I love
so
Evil
close.
Sons over Goths. Last but not least, hey, let's send in Makari. He's going to declare on the guard inside the other side of that wall there.
And he doesn't even have a line of sight, so you couldn't Overwatch him if you wanted to.
Well, of course, Makari's the one.
Makari's coming on in. Coming in hot.
Yeah. We can need a 7 to get in there. Yeah. Come on, Makari.
And clever movement by Dustin here, staying outside of 3-inch heroic intervention range from the shield captain as well as from the Vexilla over there.
Alrighty, so Makari is a little bit more dangerous than a usual Grot. So moving on to the fight phase. I was hoping this would be way more impactful than it was, but here we go. The only one fighting is a Grot. So he's going to have 3 attacks as he charged near Ghaz.
Okay.
Hitting on 4s, he hits twice. If he would have gotten a 6 in these rolls, it would have been D3 more wounds instead.
Oh, ouch. Deceptively powerful.
It's going to be 1 wound at -1.
Okay. So we'll take this on. He has a storm shield, 3+, and he saves it on a 6.
Alrighty. Makari says, bring it.
Alrighty.
I want some with my 2+ invuln.
All right, we'll take 3 hits, rolling 1s, and he's within range of the shield captain there, so we get to reroll. So we got 3 hits. What's the toughest on Makari now?
You're certainly wounding on 2s.
Okay. And so we'll have 3 staves there.
Alright, no problem.
Roll 2+ invulnerable
Mhm.
saves. Oh, Dustin! Oh, Dustin!
What is this turn? I'll just take it.
It's actually, I got 2 on there, right? So
Yeah,
D3 damage for
No!
Everything. Makari.
Everything's gone up.
This is a tough one.
Yep.
Sometimes that's the way it goes, and Dustin's doing a good job of not getting too salty. It'll obviously have to change your game plan, but that's tough.
Yeah, the Megas were the big one. I was really relying on that charge to make it happen. Yeah, I think at this point they're probably going to get shot up pretty bad. So we'll see what's left of this army after the top of 3.
So we are now at the end of Battle Round 2, and Dustin, I feel for you. The Dice Gods are just not...
Oh, they were so
form
cruel.
today. They're so cruel.
Thraka rolled a 3 into a 3. Buddy! What's up? What's up with that? But yeah, 3
He's just
filter
really chunky now. He's just chunkier and a little slower than he used to be, stumbling over... He's still getting used to that new body. Still getting used to the new body.
Yeah. This is not the place where Goths want to be. Is failing all their charges because they're so fantastic in combat because their 6s explode just like with Daka Daka and shooting, so they really output a lot of damage. On the plus side, I got to save some of the CP I was going to spend in the fight phase.
And I'm sure. So I mean,
Silver linings.
when the dice go against your way, right? And Dustin is a very seasoned 40k player. What do you do when your plan? You had 3 contingency plans here, and all of them just kind of let you down.
Whenever you're in a situation like this, it's important to not leave how the game's going to go just to luck. Obviously, if I would have made any of those 3 charges, really, really big things would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Even just one of those being a success,
even
just one would have done what I wanted it to do, whether that be killing the bikes off or making it into that house. With that said, though, is I maneuvered stuff in a way where even if those charges all failed, like absolute worst case scenario, which this is unfortunately the absolute worst case scenario, we're still in not an automatic lose position. The big important thing was that actually that the jump cast happened.
Right.
Because that means that there's going to be a squad that is completely untouchable by your guns. Is going to remain untouched by your guns for another phase. These guys right here, this little squad of 10, blocking your Terminators from moving forward, also a big move. So those kind of counter moves were meant to maintain at least those 2
exactly right.
Victory points for my next turn. At the same time, Unstoppable Green Tide put those 30 boys well over there.
Yep.
I don't think you're going to take the chance of having your guys come out of the house to try and combat them. Because if you do, it probably wouldn't go well for them. So they're in a great position also, even if they fail their charge. What really is going to hurt coming up, though, is the Mega Knobs. You get a lot of AP. It's going to be rough. It's going to be really, really rough. But it's not done yet. And you have to approach the mission very much to where you're not thinking about just the luck side.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. So, with that being said, obviously from a Custodes perspective, that Tanglefoot really paid off.
Man.
That was the difference. Even only rolling a 2, that was the difference between him making that charge and not making that charge. And if even Ghaz, Ghaz not getting in, that's a big one. But the Mega Knobs, I think that's probably the bigger of the charges.
It was. They both had very similar damage potential, but I think like the math of how the damage would have came out would have made the Mega Knobs better. And it also, so I had a lot of characters lined up here that was also going to gang up on you.
Yep.
But once these 2 failed, which were going to be the big damage dealers, I didn't want to take the chance of having an important character charge in, because then you say, well, hey, I'm going to do that Overwatch after all.
Exactly right.
And kill off the Banner, or kill off the Big Mech, kill off the Pain Boy. So unfortunately, they had to stay put.
Yeah. All right, well, it's still not over. The game's not over. Custodes are going into their turn 3. Let's see what we can do. All right, so we are now in Custodes, top of turn 3 in the command phase. I was able to gain 1 more CP, which brings me back up to 4, and I hold 2 points, so that gets me to 7 victory points. From a movement phase perspective, here's basically what I did. The game is not even close to being over right now. What Dustin did a really nice job is he's forcing my hands. He put a really big threat on the board. That's going to take a lot of my attention. If I can't deal with that, they're really threatening this objective. So I'm going to need to find some way to do some kind of damage to them. The Alaris Terminators over here they only got 4 inches of movement because this is difficult ground, which subtracted 2, but it was enough to get 2 of them over the line, which then helps us with their charge range there. Telemon moved forward. He's going to get some options between Ghaz and the Mega Knobs here. And the bikes came over here as well to probably get some shots into the Boyz over there. He can also charge Ghaz as well. In this little corner over here, the Vexilla stays 1 inch away from the wall. He's giving -1 to hit for this whole unit over there. The Shield Captain is also within 6 inches of the bikes here. Not within 6 inches there, but this Shield Captain is. The reason I did that, and I moved the other guard here, is to try to keep zoning out just in case another to jump happens. And he's able to lend a little bit more support if somebody comes around. There's a little bit more of a beat stick in combat. The last thing that I did from a movement phase is I moved back the Custodian Guard that were in here
Coward!
to 12 inches.
Coward!
So I can still toss a Tanglefoot if I need to. There will be some fighting. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some fighting this turn. We'll see what happens. But again, the game is not over yet, and I need to make sure that I can execute on some of these plays. So moving on to the Psychic phase. Done. Moving on to the Shooting phase. All right, Shooting phase. So there's a lot of threats that I still need to take care of. So I'm going to devote a lot of shooting, obviously, into these Boyz here. And the way that I positioned, I have some options. the primary way that I'm trying to deal with them with the bikes. If the bikes can't finish them off, which we'll see if they can, the Talon is within range with all of his shots, so that could take them out. Hopefully, Shield Captain can take out at least 4 wounds on Ghaz there. And then the Laris, they actually have quite a bit of shooting. So we're going to start shooting. Let's go with the Shield Captain first, and he's going to shoot his salvo launcher. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. So he hits. Ghaz is not a vehicle, so it's 3s. And wounds on a 6. So -4, it's going to be d6 damage.
Or pinball. Nope.
Alright. Would you like to reroll that?
No, we'll keep it.
Alright, so let's see what the damage is for 3.
Alright.
Okay.
Down to 8.
Down to 8.
Or down to 7.
Alright, so the next bit of shooting that we'll do, we're going to do the Alaris Terminators. Everything's going to go into the Meganobs there. So it's going to get 2 shots from their axes, as well as the grenade launchers. And so we'll do the axes first. There's 6 there, so we'll get 12 shots. They are not within 6 inches, so I pulled away a little bit too far, so they're only hitting on 2s, no rerolls here. So we do miss on quite a few of them. Strength 4 to toughness. T. I'll roll it out.
T4.
Alright, so it's going to be in 4s. You're going to have 4 saves at -1, 2 damage each.
4 saves at -1. That gets us to a 3 up. We're going to save all of them.
Nails them all.
Hey.
Alright. We'll do the grenade launchers as well, right into there. So we're going to have 6 grenade launchers, D3 shots.
That average.
Okay. Again, same deal, hitting on 2s, no rerolls. All hits. Moving on 4s. These are at -3, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going to be there?
So we've got 8 saves.
That's what it looks like, -3, 1 damage each.
Our custom force field. It's going to save us only twice. How much damage are we looking at here?
1 damage each.
1 damage each, so that's going to kill 1, and then it's going to kill another. If the Pain Boy can't save us.
Go Pain Boy.
Come on, Pain Boy. And this is 1 damage each.
1 damage each.
Pain Boy came through pretty well. He got 2 of them, but 4 wounds total, so that's going to kill 1, and then put damage on another.
Okay. All right, so then we're going to move on to the bikes here, and so this is the big one. They are not within rapid fire range of the Boyz, so they're only going to get 6 shots each. I will spend 1 CP again on the what's it called? The ability to Blood Game Veterans, so that they on 6s they auto wound. So we'll grab some dice and we'll be right back. Alright, so the Verse Praetors are going to put all their Hurricane Bolters into the Boy Squad there. I did use 1 CP for the Blood Game Veterans over here. Let's see if I get that CP back. And I do not. Okay, so I'm down to 3 CP. You're going to be hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, because he's within range of Shield Captain. Alright, let's re-roll those 1s. Just 2, not bad, good shooting. Alright, all hits. 6s are auto wounds, so we'll take those out right now. Okay, this looks like one. Alrighty. Wounding on 4s. So pretty decent roll it looks like. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 in addition to 18, 20. 23 total wounds there.
No problem. AP?
No AP.
Watch these t-shirt saves come through. Uh-oh. It didn't come through.
Didn't come through.
5, 10, 15, 20. We got 10 of those boys left over.
10 boys left. So this gives me a very difficult decision to make, because for 2 CP he can auto pass, he can use his once a game auto pass morale, which could let him threaten that objective, right? So now I have to figure out if I'm going to devote the rest of the shooting from the Telemon into the Boyz there. I'm not sure. I'll give it a think and I'll be right back. Alright, so another decision that I have to make is what do I shoot with the Telemon? The choices are really between the knobs, some of the characters here, and the Boyz. Realistically, all of his shooting isn't guaranteed to kill the Boyz, and I like the idea of leaving Dustin with the decision. Does he want to pass the morale to try and save the Boyz? I think that if I'm able to take out the custom force field, that's probably going to help my fight here with the knobs. So with that being said, he's going to put everything into that custom force field, and we're going to use the burst version, which gives me 6 shots from the cannon, from the Arachnos cannon. We're also going to use all 5 of the spiculous, and then the 2d3 from the plasma projector thing. So we'll roll the cannon shots first. Rolling 2s, we're rolling 1s. Okay, all hits. I think these are going to be winning on 3s, if I'm not mistaken. Strength 7. Alright, so you're going to have 5 saves to make. It's at -3, or -2, I'm sorry, 1 damage each.
Watch this force field save.
There you go.
Oh, maybe not.
You got 4 there.
How many wounds is that?
1 damage each.
1 damage each?
Yep. You got the pain boy, correct?
That's where I do the Pain Boy. Let's give him a go. Pain Boy? Come on, buddy.
So then we'll do the spiculous. 2s, we're rolling 1s again. Okay, 4 hits. Also moving on 3s. You're going to have 2 saves here at -1.
Fill them both. Pain Boy. And that'll be the end of that fella.
Okay. So the cast of shots are wasted. Yeah. And that will be the end of the Custodes shooting phase. We'll move on to the charge phase now. Alright, on to Custodes turn 3 charge phase. A lot of options here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a charge. The Telemon is going to charge Ghaz and the knobs.
And I will decline Overwatch for both.
Oh, you sure?
Well,
sure. Alright.
Not the best at shooting.
And so he does get a reroll, so I think it's anything but.
Yeah.
I think even... Okay, so he's going to make it. I think with his base being as big as it is,
Roll that big fat.
we're going to base both both right there. Okay. So that being said, the Alars are going to charge into the knobs as well.
Sure.
We're going to be next.
We're going to see some heroic interventions in a second.
Okay, so I think I need to re-roll that because with the defense line here that subtracts 2, that really only gets him 1 inch, and I'm not sure that's going to be enough to get as many attacks as I want. So with the command point reroll, which I'm going to use at this point, I rerolled the entire charge roll. So let's see what we get. Let's see if I get the CP back first. I do not, so I'm down to 3. Let's see what the roll is.
Much
All right,
better.
that's much better. Going for 9. And that's actually very helpful. We're going to use that first to get around this way. I'm basically going to go right there. So, leave just a little bit of space there. So this guy's only going to go 7 here. Just got to get over that line. I'm going to go 7. There. Okay, there's that charge. The next charge that we're going to declare, the bikes here are going to declare a charge on just the Pain Boy there. So let's see what we got. So 4, I'm pretty sure that's enough. We'll have to see how that all plays out. So
Should be good.
Yep, I think we're good there. I'm gonna go right on that side.
Staying out of engagement range of
That's what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna see if we can do that. Maybe difficult, but
a little chain.
yeah. Oh boy, there's almost that back. Engagement range now is
1 inch.
1 inch. So we just gotta make sure that we're outside of an inch. That guy's not gonna be able to attack anyway. Yep, you're outside of an inch. So we just got a little bit of a wall there, right around Ghaz. Let's see, we'll declare one more charge. We will put the shield captain, we'll declare the, yeah, we're gonna do the shield captain on the knobs there as well. That's a longer charge here. We're looking at...
A 9er?
Yep, that's a 9er. That's a 9er. Let's see what we got here. Doesn't get it, but
Almost.
the Orc, his relic does allow for re-rolling failed charge rolls. So let's see if we can nail that. And we do not. So he's going to stay still. I think that's going to be it for my charges. We'll go ahead and move on to the fight phase now. All right, so we're going to start the fight phase. One little mistake I think I made here. I lost track of the amount of CP that Dustin had left. He has 1. I was thinking he had 2, but he'll have 2 at the beginning of his turn. So really, there wasn't too much risk of me charging the shield captain into Ghaz. We'll see if that comes back to bite me. But we're going to start off the fight phase with the Alaris Custodes here against the Mega Knobs. So we're going to have 24 attacks, hitting on 2s. They're outside of the aura range for the shield captain. So let's see what we got here. Let's remove the 1s. Those are all important. All right, and then we are wounding on 2s. We're strength 8. We are toughness 4. All right, let's see what we got here. Looking for 2s. 3s. All right, so we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 3, 4, 5, 15 saves at -2. D3 damage each.
15 saves. That puts us
saves.
to a 4-up save. Let's see what we can do. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, pretty good.
So we've got, looks like 5 fails.
Okay.
What damage again are we looking
It's
at?
gonna be D3 damage.
D3.
So
You're going to want to do these separately.
Yep, we're gonna do 1 at a time first. Okay, first is 2.
Painboy save. It is not going to negate it, so it's going to kill the first wounded knob in the back.
Second one. It's gonna be 3.
It's going to kill the next one.
Okay. Next one's 1.
We don't save it.
Okay. Got another one.
Your
Cock dice.
Don't save that one either.
All right. And then the last one is another one.
And that'll kill a third one. So that's going to be 3 dead Mega Knobs.
3 dead Mega Knobs. All right.
Alright, so it's going to kill the wounded one. Now we're going to take these 2. That way you can punch gas.
All right. So they will consolidate. Alright. So, that was very clever pulling from Dustin because I'm already basing Ghaz. I can't pile in any closer to the rest of the knobs there, Mega Knobs. So the next fight that we're gonna do good old Telamon. He's gonna have 5 attacks into Ghaz there, and he is within an inch of 6 inches of the shield captain. So he's gonna 5 attacks hitting on 2s, rolling 1s. All hits. He's strength 16.
Oh boy, T7.
So we're gonna do 2s.
Hey!
Whoa!
Finally,
Ouch.
is on my way.
Okay.
I'm imagining you got a lot of AP on that.
It's gonna be -4.
-4. Well, we got a 4-up invul. The Prophet of Mork and Gork. And we're feeling pretty profitous.
You're gonna use your last CP on a save?
No, we're not.
It is a flat 4, so
We'll take it.
the 1 is all that I needed to go through for the Telamon.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll put him down to 3. Not looking good for Ghaz.
All right. So then next we're gonna pile in here with the Virtus Praetors. So they're gonna go in. This guy's gonna go just a little bit closer here. Actually, we'll base you right there. We're gonna do the exact same thing, moving 3 inches. And I really should be using this marker here. So it's. And if you don't mind, I'm just gonna move these just around because we want to try to get a couple more into them. Still staying without inside our range there. Down there. 3 inch. You're still closer to the nearest model. So I think we're all good there. All right, so then we're going to do, the Virtus Praetors here are going to go onto the Pain Boy. Now, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, probably 4 attacks. 4 of them are going to be within range. The last one's not. They're going to have 4 attacks each. So 16 attacks. And on 2s. Now here's the question. I think I may have just pulled myself outside of range here. So I don't think I'm within 6. Nope, just outside of 6 there. And just within 6 right there.
Oh,
so,
yes.
you know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than just good. 2 is still getting 1. Alrighty. The trick with playing Custodes is try not to roll 1s. You usually tend to be pretty good. So we're going to have all hits here.
T4, 6 up save.
Okay, so we're hitting on D3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13 saves.
Oh,
minus 3 D3 damage.
No save, I'm just going to pick him up.
Okay.
Alright, Pain Boy. So long. Alright, it's time for me to slap back. The Mega Knobs didn't get hit as hard as I thought they would, and they are still jazzed up with the Warpath spell that got cast on them during my turn. And they're also just barely within range of Ghaz's aura to let them reroll 1s. The banner's also there, giving them +1 to hit, so hitting on 4s is now hitting on 3s. They're still pretty deadly. I think they can maybe do a little bit of stuff. The big question, though, is I have 1 CP left. And with Saga of the Beast, there's a new stratagem where they can have +1 of their damage. So the question is do I hit it now to really bash those Terminators, or do I save it for the next turn, that way I'll have 2 CP and can do an interruption during the fight phase? It's tough. I think I'm going to spend the 1 CP to make the Mega Knobs hit harder, because of the dynamics of him fighting first. I don't think Draka's going to get a chance to fight back in that next turn, because I'm hopefully going to fight my way out of this combat with the Mega Knobs. So we're going to go ahead and burn that last CP, and this is the Hit 'em Harder strat from Saga of the Beast, and try and kill some Terminators. So they each have 3 attacks base, +1 because of Warpath. Unfortunately, they did not charge, so they don't get the extra +1 from Thraka.
So I will use 2 CP here for the Arcane Genetic Alchemy, which is the Custode Transhuman Physiology strat, which basically means you need force to wound.
Gotcha.
I think it's important because every wound I don't have to take is 1 more alive custodian. And so, you know, the durability here hopefully pays off. So that brings me down to 1 CP left. Do I get it back on a 5+? And I do not. I don't think I've gotten any back yet. I need 1. So I'm still down. I'm down to 1 CP.
All right, well, I'm gonna roll those 20 dice and see how we do. We're hoping for 6s. Yep, 1 in there. Thraka is letting us reroll these 1s. Okay, and the 6s generate additional attacks because of the Goth trait. So we're gonna roll those 2 more. Rerolling 1s because of Thraka. Alrighty, so all the 3s and better are going to go through. Pretty good hit. Unfortunately, that stratagem is going to be making the wounds a little tougher. Otherwise, we would have been winning on 3s. Okay. Alrighty.
Still pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. That's -3 with Power Claw on 5.
I'll just roll these dice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so we're going to have our 4+ invulnerable save here. What's the damage on these guys?
It's going to be D3 +1.
D3 +1. What do we do here? Ooh, okay, so we fail 1, 2, 3. We fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We fail 6. Okay.
Let's give it a roll. How many wounds are on your Terminators?
4.
4. Alright, the first one. It's going to kill a guy. That's 3 +1.
Okay, so one guy's dead.
Next is 1 +1, so it's going to be 2 damage.
Okay.
Next, that's going to kill that guy.
Okay.
With 3 damage. Then we've got another 3 damage from the next swing.
Okay.
2 damage from the one after that.
Okay, that's going to kill the next one.
Okay. And the last one is going to kill another guy with 4 damage.
4 damage. All right. Very nice. Wow.
Pretty hard hit.
That's a big swing.
Now we're going to swing over to Thraka. He's got 6 attacks with his current wound track.
Okay.
And we have to allocate all of them into the Talon because the bites stayed out of range.
And Telamon will use 1 CP for the half damage strat.
Okay.
So let's see if we
Probably a good idea for Rocket.
I think so as well. Finally gets back.
Hey,
So back up to 1 CP.
Alrighty, so Rocket's hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. And a good thing he is. We're gonna get another swing from the Goff trait. That's 6. Just another hit. Alright, we're gonna be wounding you on 3s. Give this his current wound track. Ugh, that's rough. It's gonna be 4 saves.
Okay.
At -4.
We're gonna be on our 4+ invulnerable.
Yeah.
4 saves. Let's see them. Ooh, fails all of them. Okay.
It is flat 4 each.
It's flat 4 each, so that's 12 damage. That's,
that kills them.
So it's flat 4 each, so when I have the damage,
Yeah,
so it's
so-
2 each.
yeah.
So it's 8 damage total.
Brings me down to 2 wounds if you don't save any of these.
Let's see what we can do. 6 plus feel no pain. And we
Save
saved 1.
Brings him down to 3.
Down to 3.
Not a bad hit.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, you can see where that stratagem really saved his bacon.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. I think that's the end of... I believe that's the end of the fight phase here. Moving on to morale, and I do owe you a morale check here now.
Yeah, as do I, for sure.
Alright, so I do owe Dustin a morale check here on the Alaris Terminators, and anything but 5 or 6. I lost 4, so... Got 3? I'm okay.
So we're in rougher shape over here with the boys. Unfortunately, we lost 20 models, and we're well outside of the range of Thraka's aura to execute some to keep them on the board. So we're looking at the new morale test for 9th edition, which is a little bit better in this situation for them, because if this was 8th, all these guys are gone. They're just automatically running. In this situation, they've been depleted past half strength. So on a 1 or a 2, that model's going to flee. So I'm going to pick up 10 dice, and we're going to see what happens to the boys. Alright, so we've got 5 are taken off, but you know what? If this was 8th, they would all be gone, so I gotta be happy with it. Alright, for the megas we lost 4, and we're gonna have leadership 8, that's a tough one. I think I will attempt the test.
Attempt the test. Oh,
Gosh. Alright, so we failed the morale. We have not lost more than half of our units. We're going to pick up 5 dice. See what happens. We're all okay. They stand firm. That'll be it for the Orc morale. Alright, so command phase, very important for us. Once again, we're scoring 2 victory points for points number 1 and number 3 like we had before. And we get another CP, which is very, very important, because we still have the ultimate ace up our sleeve, our Burn Obama and the Flying Headbutt. This is my honest advice for any Horde player, any Orc player out there. You might feel like you're down and out after you fail 3 charges in a row, but you're not completely out of the game. And this is a great example of that, because that Burn Obama is going to do a lot for me. This is the end of the movement phase, and so before we get to the Burna, I'll show you a couple of things that we did. So we had these boys hanging out over here, hidden behind this house to hold the point. We shifted the weird boy around, that way he can hold the point and still be out of line of sight for all the stuff that's over here. Those boys were in turn able to curve around and get into a very, very easy charge range. As long as Thraka is alive until the charge phase, they're looking at +1 to their attack, which is going to be awesome. That's a bunch of boys. Everything else is kind of stuck over here. We had a small contingent of 10 boys. We're going to send them in as an insurance policy, hopefully kill these Terminators, free up these Megas to do other things, and not get slapped in combat. But the big kicker here is this dang Telamon. He needs to go, because if he fights first, after all the chargers are done, he's going to slap the rocket and he's going to die, and I'm going to cry. Because he's my brand new model and he looks awesome. So here's the solution. This Burn Obama, zoom, zoom, zoom. He's coming in hot.
and flying off the board.
Rah! No, you wish he was. And he's going to land right here perfectly to where it's going to catch the Telamon, it's going to catch the captain, and it's going to catch one of the characters that's right here on the edge of the building, with Thraka just barely out of range of it. So that's going to instantly apply 3 mortal wounds to the Telamon, to the captain, and the character. But you got some feel no pains before I explode in my fiery demise, and we'll see how that goes.
Do you want to drop? You're dropping your bomb over the Telamon first, right?
We're dropping the bomb actually on the
bikers.
The bikers.
Okay.
Yep. So let's go ahead and resolve that real fast. Yep. That's going to be 5 dice. Every 5+ is a mortal wound on the bikers. And that's going to be 2 mortal wounds.
And that's going to be enough to kill one bike. So one guy has 2 wounds left.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
These poor planes that never got to shoot their guns, all they did was explode.
And that's done the most damage.
Yeah.
Other than the mega knobs.
Tell me about it. But I think you have fill no paints on some of your stuff over here.
Yep, the Telemon and the captain
Captain,
have. Okay,
So you want to do first?
I don't think it matters. So the bombs dropped over the guard, so just the 3 on the Telemon, right?
Yep.
All right, so I need 1 6 here.
Yes.
1 6.
No.
No 6s.
Does he explode?
Does it explode? Oh, this would be good.
it would be very interesting.
Oh,
Oof.
we're okay.
CP?
No, I will save that 1 CP because
that would be like everything.
That would be everything, including all of my Vertus Praetors, which I do need.
You could kill Thraka.
Could kill Thraka. All right, and then we'll use so the shield captain over there has a 5+ field no pain.
Ooh.
Let's see what it does.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Just takes 1.
Okay. And the little fella in here is your Vexilla, and I think he's
in the range. If Thraka was out, he's got to be out, right?
Yeah, I think he might actually be. I thought he was flush against the wall.
No, he's.
And it looks like he's a little out of it. Yeah, so he's good.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you this.
All right.
Guy. Oh, good riddance. Good riddance to that fella.
Well done.
Thank you. So that's the movement phase, but obviously a big impactful movement phase, just like the previous one was in turn 1. So let's see if I can pick things up a little bit in the shooting phase, but really it's all going to come down to the charges. If I can't make those 3-inch charges, you're going to see a lot of salt in about 30 seconds. All right, psychic phase turn 3. There's really only one important spell we want to cast here, and that's Warpath on this mob of Orc boys. That way they can get into the bikes and really do a lot of damage. If that happens, we're in that doomsday scenario of 6 attacks per boy, and boy do I love it. But the boys are a little too far for him to get the usual Wa energy buff, which was how I was getting those +2s, +3s with the cast. So this is just a flat 6. Gotta see a 6. So let's see it. Get it with a 7.
That'll do.
Are you in range to deny now?
I am, but I'm not going to use a CP for it.
Okay.
So
this going to be +1 attack for the boys. So we are going to see some nice action. Moving on from the psychic phase to the shooting phase, also pretty quick. Most stuff is in combat and I can't shoot. Thraka managed to sneak his way out of combat because the Telemon was removed and the bikers weren't in contact with him. So he's going to shoot his gun at the bikers who are not in combat now. So we've got 12 attacks from Thraka into the bikers.
All right.
He is not moved, so he's hitting on 5s. All right, is the -1 active?
Let me double check the range.
It should be pretty close.
I think I'm just out. I would say I'm out.
Okay. See those 5s. Oh, well, Rock is not known for shooting. That's okay. He's got 1 Daka. Okay, no. Strength 5, so 5's wound. Nothing. Once again, it's just noise, no damage.
So close.
Yep.
He's facing the wrong direction. That's
there
what
you
happened.
go. He's just clack, 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 celebrating that he's no longer fighting that dreadnought. We've got 2 grenades that are in range. We're going to fire those also.
Okay.
We're going to just not do the pistols. They're not going to do anything to the bikes anyways.
Are you sure about that? I feel like every wound is going to be important.
It is, but at the same time, I don't want you to pull stuff away and make my charge harder. And
That's fair.
it's a lot of guns that don't do much.
Fair enough.
And that is it for shooting. So we're going to move on to...
Dustin's used to tournament play and being on the clock.
Yes, that's very much true. Like, you shooting your pistols in a tournament setting is often a liability, so you just choose not to do it. But yeah, so next is charge, and this is going to be the big turn once again. All right, charge phase turn 3 for the Orcs. We're in a little bit better position to actually make those charges. Most of them are 1 to 2 inches. So hopefully I won't fail them, but Tanglefoot is a thing, and we'll probably see it. But first things first, we're going to send these boys into those bikes because those bikes have to die. If I don't kill those bikes, I think Brian is going to end up closing out the game on the next turn. At the same time, I want the boys to go first instead of Thraka because Thraka has so few wounds. Yes, he's got a 2+ save. There's a lot of shots coming from there. And if Brian gets lucky, that's it.
What, 12? 12 shots each?
And here's the thing too, is if Thraka dies, my guys aren't advancing and charging. So he has to live. There's a sequence that has to follow, so it's got to be the boys first. So I toss it to you. Do you want to Overwatch?
No.
What? No way!
I'm not going to use the Overwatch
Are you
yet.
serious? Okay.
I only have 1 CP.
That's
right
shocking.
now.
But I guess you got some other trick up your sleeve you're waiting for.
Yeah. So this is a good point. You've got 1 CP left, right? And what's going to be important for me is however much damage I could do hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s might kill, what, handful of boys, maybe?
Yeah.
I think the more important thing is that I do what I can to survive and try to focus on the mission, which is the objective game. So I'm going to save that 1 CP to try to win me the game, but not just mow down some boys, which in the end is probably less important than trying to keep control of objectives.
Combat interrupt is important too, whenever it's your own turn. And I think usually you want to make sure that you preserve 2 CP if you're a fighting army.
Exactly right.
So right now you're at 1. On the top of your turn, you're going to have 2. So you would have that ability if you choose to reserve it after, during my turn. But we'll see.
And one more little trick that the Custodes have, and they do have a 1 CP interrupt on an objective, which is a very important one to have. So if for some reason some boys try to charge into some Custodian guard that are holding an objective, I like having that 1 CP in my back pocket.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what I end up doing with that.
Well, first things first, let's see if I can make a 1-inch charge on the Vikings.
Sadly, I don't have that gravitic backwash, so
I'll take a 9.
Nailed it.
All right, let's get him in there. So we're going to move this one the furthest and just kind of slide them all up after that.
Sounds good.
With the changes to 9th, you really want to ensure that you get that 2 rank coverage as much as you can. So the positioning here for the bikes with this wide arc was fantastic for kind of blocking my guys from going in from over here, but it's a really ideal position for the boys to get in there and maximize the amount of attacks they have, which will be quite tremendous with the buffs that they have. With the new 9th rules, there will be some boys out in the far back here that aren't going to be able to attack, but that's okay. We're going to have quite a bit to fight with. Our next charge is going to be Thraka. He's going to try and come in on the bikes also. He's got 3 wounds left, but his positioning here is important to make sure that his auras are right. That way everyone's re-rolling their 1s. So we're going to give that a roll. He's declaring on just these guys, of course. Okay. He's going to come with 7. We're going to put him actually... it's a tough one. We'll just sit him over here. I want to be kind of centered. That way, this is all gaining benefit. Next up, we've got this small squad of boys. They're going to declare a charge on just the Terminators. Well, thinking about engagement range, I think I also need to declare on the bikes as well. That makes the charge a little bit harder, but I can't swing the boys around properly to get maximum coverage if I don't. Right. So we're going to declare on both units. That'll be just fine. So just going to swing around, make contact on both, continue to try and get that maximum coverage. Make sure we measure the knob because he's the most important one here. I think they're going to all be in once we pile in. And last is the banner. Let's sit him in just in case. Doesn't hurt. He's going to go into both. Well, he's going to go in the bikers.
Yeah, don't think he can fail.
No, I don't think so either. And he goes. Okay. We are going to start the fight phase with the Ork boys, who are all jazzed up. It's really, really tempting to start off with Thraka, but I want to see those dice rolled because there is a hell of a lot of them. First things first, let's pile in.
So what I will do, as chosen as a target, I will use that last CP right now on Grim Responsibility.
Okay.
To make the attacks -1 strength. So
that means that we're going to move down from strength 4 to strength 3, so that's big.
That's right.
Winning on 6s.
Winning on 6s.
That's pretty huge. Now, is that for just them, or is it for everyone that's attacking?
For everyone that attacks him.
Okay.
So the thought there was, I think Ghaz is not as strong as well. What is he?
Right now he is strength 6, so that'll put him down to strength 5,
right.
But it's still going to be ×2 with the power claw.
It's strength 2. It's -1 of the strength of the attack.
I see.
So
I see. Yeah, so not quite enough to really make too much difference, but it makes a huge difference on these boys.
On the boys.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's pile them in real fast. Gonna curve around that way we just get them all in there. Just shuffle around a little bit and try and ascertain who's out. So this guy isn't quite in there. That guy's already flush. So we've got 3 boys that can attack out of the 27. So that's going to be, can I do math? 24, and the knob is 1, so that's going to be 23 boys times 6 attacks. What's the math on that, Brian?
You're looking at the only Asian. You said 20...
26 times 24. Or 24 times 6.
Looking at 144 attacks.
144 attacks, is that all?
144 attacks. Whew.
Okay.
Would you like the dice app or would you like to roll everything?
Well, we're going to roll it all. 144 attacks. So let's think about that. How can we digest that better?
Why? I think we got, if we take all the dice,
Yeah.
we might have 200 something dice.
Well, heck yeah. Let's count out 144. We'll be right back with a bunch of dice. Here we go with the Doomsday Jug O dice. So this is 2 base per boy, plus 1 from the Choppa, plus 1 because of the green tie buff, plus 1 because of Warpath, plus 1 because of Thraka. They're hitting on 2s because of the banner. They're getting extra throws on 6s because they goffs. And they re-rolling 1s.
Oh boy. This is gonna hurt.
But I'm wounded on 6s, so I'll probably get like 5 wounds. Here it comes. Let's just kind of spread that out a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna grab the 6s. You wanna grab the 1s?
I will get the 1s.
You get all these hits out of the way.
21 1s here.
Let's re-roll those 1s. Get rid of those 1s for good. And take out those 6s. Alright. That's going to put us at 25 extra swings. Well, here's another 10 dice. Another 10 dice. And I got another 5 right here. It's fine.
Yeah, 5, you good?
Yeah.
Alright.
I had 5 misses. Alright, no more mucking about. Let's see it. And we're re-rolling those 1s because of Thraka.
If you like rolling dice, orcs are the army for you.
Alright, we had 1 miss.
Wow. Wow.
Alrighty.
Load your bucket back up.
Here's the bad part. Winning on 6s.
Got one more then?
Thank you. Spread it out a little bit. Alrighty. Watch all of this pomp and circumstance, and you're gonna save them all.
That would be nice. I wouldn't mind that.
And then I'll
Something
do the.
tells me the pure math of this.
The knob has to go separately after all this is done.
Of course.
Alright, here is.
Got one more here. I think that's all the 6s. So
How many 1s can you roll?
32. 32 saves here. All right, let's see it.
No problem. No problem.
What I would say is you can do 3 wounds. I'll let you have 3 wounds on one. How about that?
I think I'll make you roll it. That's a pretty good roll.
1, 2, 3. Kills 1 bike and 1 wound. 2 wounds on another one.
One more.
1 more. 3 wounds on another one.
Oof, all that for just that. Now let's see what the knob can do. He's a little better. He's sitting on 3s because he's armed with the power claw. So we'll grab 6 rando dice.
So let's.
And the knob has 3 1s that we're going to re-roll. That's 1 miss and 2 extra swings because of the Goth trait, which are hits. The knob is strength 10. This becomes strength 9. So we're going to win on 3s. That's a great roll. That's a 2. It's going to be 5 saves at -3.
Alright, 5 saves at -3. I'm going to do these one at a time just because. So, first one saved. Second saved. Okay, loses that one.
Yep.
I got 2 more saves to make here. These I can split. Ooh.
So that'd be D3.
Okay.
First one does 2 wounds, and the next one does 3 wounds.
Okay.
Total of 5.
Alrighty. 1 bike left.
Brave man. So before we go on, do you want to interrupt it anywhere?
I do not.
Okay. We'll have the...
I don't think I have anywhere to interrupt, actually. Yeah.
You have no CP.
I have no CP left.
Okay. We'll have Thraka resolve the combat against the Vikers. He is still at 6 attacks because of his wounded status. 1/2s.
This will be big.
1s. Extra shot because of that 6 over there. Alrighty. Wounding you on 3s. Okay, that's going to be
good.
a lot of saves on your end one there.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Crazy things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gone.
Yep, flat 4 each.
And that's the end of the bikes.
All right, then we're going to go over to the knob with the banner.
Okay.
He's going to go ahead and pile in. Oh, wait, no, he can't because he didn't declare them.
Right.
So we're going to do the boys over here.
Okay.
We'll let the knob fight first. Considerably less attacks. He's only going to have 3 coming in. It's going to be on 3s.
Okay.
Rerolling 1s. Alright, so 2 hits. And then wounding you on your T4?
T5.
T5. So wounding you on 2s because he's straight 10. It's going to be 2 at -3.
4 plus vulnerable.
Nice. Alright, we got 9 boys. And they're going to have 3 attacks each. So it's only going to be 27. They're rerolling the many ones in that roll. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra attacks from Goth trait.
Okay.
Reroll 1. Okay, they did pretty good on that. But they're wounding you on 5s. Or no, you're T4, aren't you? No, you're T5.
T5, yep.
Yeah, so still wounding you on 5s. So accustomed to fighting other Terminators. So these are the big boys.
They are the big uns.
It's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 saves.
Oh, there's an 06 there.
Sorry.
I'm assuming no AP?
No AP.
No AP, alright.
Chop, chop, chop.
Anything but.
There's some 1s.
2 1s, 3 1s. Okay. So 1 is down to 1 wound remaining.
Okay.
Alright.
So the knobs are going to come on in. Looks like we're going to have 4 that are going to be in range. This guy can pile in as 3.
So I think I would be able
Make
to I attack first, right? The opponent.
You know what? You're right. 9th edition change.
9th edition change,
Yep,
everybody.
absolutely.
Alright, so we'll have the Polaris Terminators. They're going to swing against the knobs, the Mega Knobs here. Hitting on 2s outside of range, so just 2s. Miss on 2 of them. Strength is 8, wounding on 2s. Right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at -2.
-2. Let's see those 4-ups.
Ooh,
Pretty good. That's 2
alright.
fails.
Let's see what we got for damage here.
Yep.
First one does 2.
All right, so that's going to put 1 down to 1 wound left, and the next one will kill it.
That's it.
We'll kill the guy who wasn't going to make combat anyways. We're no longer jazzed up on Warpaths, so we only have 3 attacks each. We got 4 guys in range. Hitting on 3s because of the ban. We're rolling 1s because of Thraka. A lot of 6s there. 4 6s. One of those misses. That's 1 more dice. Oop, missed 3 of them. Oh well. Now we are strength 10, so we're wounding on 2s. So that's going to be 5, 8 saves.
8 saves. Alright. Let's see, 8 guys.
Minus
Yeah.
3.
Minus
Yeah,
three.
we're down to the boss.
All in the involve.
Yep.
There we go.
Pretty good roll.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah, I think it will.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them kill the guy outright.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if it's you roll it up.
Okay.
Roll it up.
So that's 3 left.
Yep, 2 left.
And that'll just barely do it.
That'll do it. That's the squad.
Yep.
Alright, nice turn.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad fight phase. That's what we were hoping for on turn 2, but it didn't quite work
Thank
out.
God it didn't happen on turn 2, otherwise this would not have been a very a very interesting battle here. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the end of the fight phase. There's no one left to clap back. So then we move on to...
Any morale?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we had any casualties on my side. Oh yeah, we lost a Meganom, but their leadership is greater than the roll, so
Exactly
they
right.
couldn't fail.
So I think you're okay there.
Yep. So moving on.
Let's move on off. Very nice.
All right, so bottom of turn 3, I think we saw a little bit of a reversal of fortunes
Oh yeah.
in terms of how things went through. Yeah, so tell me a little bit how you saw turn 3.
So turn 3, yeah, we got punched. We really don't have much. We don't have much on the board. However, I am still up on victory points, so I'm in a good position.
Yeah.
At this point, it's in my control to not lose the game, essentially.
Totally.
So I can play a little bit more conservative, but the things that I have to do is maintain that lead. And how do I maintain that lead? Got to keep the shield captain alive. If I don't, that's a draw. And I have to keep these points secure. So those are going to be the number 1, 2, and 3 priorities really for me going to turn 4 and 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Your Terminator sniping that shock attack Big Mac, absolutely massive. What a stratagem that is that people really need to think about keeping in the toolbox. But you're right. It's all about blocking, and for those that play a lot of AOS, this is a really fundamental skill of that game. And what's really exciting about 9th is that we're seeing those type of skills appear in the game, to where positioning matters so much, where you're not just looking to kill something, you're looking to contain it in the movement phase.
That's exactly right.
Yep. So this is going to be a big important turn, and as you say, I'm still down on points, but there's big cerebral choices that have to be made at the top of this turn. Yeah.
And from a CP standpoint, I have 1. Dustin, you have
0.
0 right now.
0.
So, and the other thing to think about is where you are at the end of this turn is basically going to dictate the last points of the game.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we're moving into Custodes turn 4. All right, so Custodes turn 4 movement phase. Really critical movement phase. It may have taken longer than you would think to move 5 models or so, but really important things. So first thing that we did was move the Shield Captain Dawn Eagle Jet Bike up here. Still has line of sight into Ghaz, but if the Orks are going to try to get up there, it's going to be a very, very difficult charge to be able to get up there. The movement here, we advanced the Vexillus, got a 6 on his advance, which really allowed him to get over here. And so the rule is 1 inch is the engagement range. So basically you've got an inch here and an inch here, which means nobody can be passing through there. So they've got this pretty well blocked off, and they both have a 3+ invulnerable save. So hopefully that's going to come in handy for me. If I can keep them alive, that's going to be key as well. Now here, these guys are going to do something tricky. And so what I want to do is I want to try to take out a couple of them, but still defend this point. So we move them out, we'll probably be able to get shots, and then they can charge. And if they charge, they'll still be able to lend their help through the wall because they'll be within half an inch of someone within half an inch, hopefully being able to take out those 5 Orks and then control this completely. Now the other play that we have to be worried about is the jump. So I'm going to really need to keep 1 CP in my back pocket to try and Tanglefoot if something gets in. So that's where we're at right now. This is a pretty technical phase, or turn, but we'll move to the second phase, don't have one. On to the shooting phase. Custodes turn 4 shooting phase. And we're going to start with the most important shot of the game probably. It's going to be the Shield Captain into Ghaz Gulthraka. Hitting on 1, or hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Just going to be good. Yeah, he gets the hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. Beats that 3. Here we go. Gets it on a 5, -4, so this is a big roll for Dustin.
It is. Am I indeed the prophet of Mork and Gork? 4+ invuln.
He is. Nailed it.
Yep.
Very nice. So that's a big save. We'll just keep going at this point. We're gonna shoot the Guardian, the Custode Guard spear into that squad there, hitting on 2s. Okay, both hits. Wounding on 4s. Strength 4, toughness 4. Okay, we got 2 wounds at -1.
I would say that I don't get the cover save there, so it's going to go right through. So it's going to be 2 dead boys.
Okay. So there's 2 dead boys there.
Yeah, we're going to pull the 2 that are closest to that menacing fellow with the spear. Make your charge slightly harder.
All right, so one last thing. I'm going to shoot the Alaris Captain Constantine Baldar into Ghaz. Why not? You never know what might happen. So hitting on 2s, we roll 1s. We'll just call it cocked, and that is 1. All right. Needs 5s here, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so 1 wound. It's going to be at -1.
3 up. Feels good.
Got it. Okay, so there we go. All right, now we'll move on to the charge phase. So I'm going to declare charge on the boys over there. So they're gonna, I think it's, there's a guy on the other side there. Let's see. What are we looking at? Looks like a 3-inch charge. Would you call that 3? Would you call
Yeah,
that 4?
I'd say that's
3 inch charge. All right, so I'll just roll it right there. Whew, just got it. I feel like because they both have wounds, I don't want to give them the free attacks. And if I can just block them off from moving, do whatever I can to try and keep them off that point, that's going to be big. So I'm going to actually leave them there. I'm not going to move them.
That's totally the right call. Let me tell you why. Even if you charged in there and your characters didn't get killed, we got to keep in mind that stratagem. Once I get my CP back in the next turn, I can leave combat and move through enemy models. That means I'm going to be a ghost, phase through, swarm the point, game over.
That's a great point.
Yep.
Super cool use of that to like win a game at the end of the game.
You know what? If I lose the other half of this unit, I don't care.
Right.
Because it's the game.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, so we're just going to do this one fight phase here. We've got just the 2, so it's going to be 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. All right, this one, wounding on 3s. All right, 3 at -3.
No save
is just enough.
But the knobs the knob has 2 wounds, so I'm going to make you roll the damage.
Okay, so let's roll the damage. All right, so the first, you're going to take it on the knob first.
The knob will take it last.
Okay.
So the first 2 are going to kill Boy, so your last one needs to do more than 1 wound.
That's right. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's of course that would happen.
But I do a morale test, and this is important because they are very much under half strength.
Yeah.
The knob's going to run away in a 2, 1 or 2. So we'll see what happens over there.
All right, and that'll be the end of the Custodes fight phase. You can fight back, obviously.
Yes. So let's let that knob tap you.
Okay.
He has 3 attacks with his power claw. He's hitting on 4s because the banner is
4s.
nowhere in range.
Got it.
He's not rerolling once because the rocket's too far away, but the 6 does generate an extra shot, which hits.
Okay.
So we got 3 hits, and we're wounding you on your TC.
T5.
That's 2s. That's going to be 3
All right.
minus 3.
All right, 3 at -3. So the spear guy actually does have 2 wounds left, so I have to take it on him first. So first one, saved. Saved. This will be big.
Aces all day.
Sometimes I need to just roll 4s all day.
Must be nice.
That's what it is. Okay, so that's end of our fight phase, I believe.
It is. So we're going to come to the morale phase.
Yep.
And we got to see if that knob's sticking around or if he's running away. So on a 1 or a 2, he's gone. 3, 4, 5.
He's good.
Yep. Courageous knob. He's going to get promoted to a war boss after this one.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. All right, we're moving on to
Bottom of the turn.
Bottom of the turn.
Yeah.
Orks, turn 4.
Absolutely. So again, command phase, regenning 1 more CP. And it was an important CP, I hoped it was at least, and then scoring another 2 victory points for the phase. Movement phase, I was saving that 1 CP that I just generated to do a very, very important advance roll. The game plan originally was I had some squads of boys over here that I desperately wanted to move onto point 3. This small squad of orcs were within range. If they would have rolled a 4 in the advance, they would have gotten on the point, freeing up the weird boy to go elsewhere. Unfortunately, they got a 2. They didn't quite make it. Second try was blue squad.
And you re-rolled that back into a 1.
Yeah, I re-rolled into a 1, which was terrible. Blue squad, they were also in range on a 3-inch advance to get into range. They also didn't make the advance roll, so bad news for them. So the plan was to have the weird boy curve around the building just enough to where he could smite this character and make my charge way more aggressive over here. But the weird boy, unfortunately, he had to stay on the point. There's no way I can abandon it at this stage of the game. So he's staying put. Hopefully he can jump these guys into a different position. And this is what this turn is all about, is again, there's going to be places where your dice betray you. So find multiple ways of having a path to victory. In this case, the way I've moved everything, it's to have I'm not going to say my good shooting, the only shooting I really have left. Take a couple of pot shots at the captain, because the captain has to die if I want to have a chance at winning. The next is to have these boys in a position where they can kill hopefully one of the characters or two of the characters, and then make a charge that gets them a pile in to this point. We'll see. A lot of stuff going on in these last turns. The movement is very, very precise because all the stakes,
Every inch matters.
every inch matters, and it did
Every
for
inch
this turn.
always matters.
Because just having 1 inch shy changed my game plan
right.
for this turn. So now we're going to take it to the psychic phase and hopefully to jump some boys.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the psychic phase, we're going to start up. We're going to throw Warpath on them just in case they actually do make the charge. So we're looking for a 6, and we get it with an 8. And now they have +1 attack. Now we're going to try for them to jump. And they get it with an 8. So they're going to get teleported 9 inches away and hopefully make a charge somewhere.
You know what, I'm tempted to use a CP to try to deny it, but I think I'm going to need those CP later in the game, so
Come over here.
we'll keep that in our back pocket.
So we're going to jump them over here, where there is one fella hanging back by the point, as well as the captain. We're going to put them right here. If they make the charge, they make the charge, and then they can swarm the point.
Multiple paths to victory.
Absolutely. So if they fail this charge, which is the 9-incher, that's okay. There's other stuff we have going on. But if they successfully get it, we're in a good spot. All right, so that's into the psychic phase. Now we're going to move on to my very sad shooting phase. We're going to start up Ghaz. We put him in a place where he has a way worse charge, but at least he can take a couple of shots with Mork's Roar at the captain. Do I expect much? Well,
You're due.
we're due. He's taken a lot of shots with Mork's Roar. I think he's maybe done 1 wound so far, so come on, buddy. It's your lucky day. All right, there's 12 shots. And he does not advance, so he's hitting on 5. Okay, not bad. We got 1 6 in there. Or a Daka Daka, didn't help. 4 hits.
Toughness 6.
On 5s. That's going to be 2 at -1.
Alright, so 2 on 3 plus.
Fails the
That's
1
1.
damage.
Now
Or
he
is it?
He does have the Victor of the Blood Games,
That's true.
which is maybe worth using here. Yeah, I feel like, you know what, we'll just keep it in our back pocket because he still has his feel no pain. So 5 plus, he doesn't. So he's down to 5 wounds.
Okay. We got a couple more paltry shots coming in from the Mega Knobs. It's going to be 4 each. We've only got 4 of them left over. And like Thraka, they didn't advance, so they're hitting on 5. So Daka Daka. That's 5 of them.
Ooh.
And then 2 regular hits. Who says Goths don't know their way around a gun? Me, mostly. Didn't help at all. All right, this is strength 4, so looking for 5s again. It's going to be 4 saves, no AP though.
Okay.
So an easy 2-up save.
4 saves and 2 up. He makes them all.
No problem. We got some boys hanging out next to him with pistols. We're going to pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
Our grenades are too far away, so we're going to not fire the grenades. Alright, we got 1 Daka Daka, which helped. 1 5s to wound. It's going to be 1 more save, no AP.
Okay.
You're
Gets
good.
out of 5.
And last but not least is the Banner, who hits once and wounds. Nice.
And he's good.
Good. All right, now we're going to come to the boys over here. We're going to pump all the shots, including the grenades, into the fellow with 2 wounds.
Okay.
So first we're going to roll the grenades, of which we have 2. Those are both misses because they advanced. Otherwise they'd be hits. Alrighty, so now we're going to have that big mob of Ork boys. They're going to shoot the Vixilla, is it?
Yep.
Alright, so here comes the shots. The red die is the grenade.
It's -1 to hit.
Yep, so it's only going to be 6s. Got 2, 3, 6s out of that bunch. Okay. Let's see some Daka Daka. Nope. And now we're going to wound you on 5s. 1 save.
1 save.
Yep.
AP?
None. You're good.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the charge phase. We're going to start off with the big charge that has to happen. We have 10 orc boys that are in danger range of this little fella right here who's sitting on the point and babysitting it for the game.
And this is where I will use a Tanglefoot.
Okay.
I debated whether I need to use Tanglefoot there or here, but realistically, because I think the way that we're positioned, depending on what the charge looks like, this is probably the more dangerous of the two that we're going to need. Just give me 1 second, let me think about that. So I decided to use my Tanglefoot not on this squad, but I'm going to use it over here, and here's the reason. Dustin is a freaking great player, and with whatever he ends up rolling, he's going to be able to really maximize that pile-in, that consolidate, and trying to get onto this point. So this is at best a 50-50 with the rerolls. This, I think, gives him a little bit more play in terms of what he's going to do. So I'm going to use the Tanglefoot Grenade when he's going to declare that, but I'm going to hold it off here.
Yeah, I totally agree with that decision. This is certainly the more mechanically complex move, but I think overall it's the right play. All right, so we're going to do the first roll for the squad of 10 boys. Back over there. They got a 5. I'm going to reroll both with, here we go. They got a 7. Didn't make it. That's important.
That's a big one.
It is. So now we're going to declare a blue squad into both of these heroes.
So let's see what that Tanglefoot... Oh,
He's cheating.
that's... Yeah. We should have done the Tanglefoot roll at the beginning of the turn, but we'll do it here. So let's see what he gets. All right, 3.
3.
And minus 3 on the charge. I don't think I've rolled over. I think this is my best Tanglefoot roll.
So I need at least a 4 to make this charge. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, that's an 11. Minus 3 turns it into a 8. Still quite good. All right, so this guy, we're going to move your wound counters.
Yep.
So that's for that guy, that's for this guy.
Just switch it. Switch it around. Just switch it around. Talon now.
So this guy is going to come around to here and get closer to this fellow.
Okay.
This guy's going to do the same thing. And this guy is going to do the same thing also. This fella have to go to him. This guy's got to move closer to him. So he's going to come and make a rank back right here. This guy's get closer to him too. So he's going to come follow there. These are really the important ones for surging into the point. The rest is just kind of maximizing attacks. At the same time, we're leaving room for the characters, just in case. Because Thraka's going to try and make a long barm charge. Why not, you know?
Yeah.
Same for the banner. This is do or die. These boys are going to spend some of that movement to go over that barricade, to hop over, get a little closer, and come on in. Again, this is where within an inch of a model, it's an engagement is very important.
Yep.
So otherwise, if you play a lot of Horde, you can find that right spot for completely maximizing your coverage and getting
Absolutely.
3 ranks, in some situations 4 ranks. But no more. All right, our next charge is going to come from Thraka, and he's going to declare on the one character that he can get to. The reason I'm doing him first is in the sequence is he's fat, and if this guy goes first, Thraka's definitely not going to make it. So let's see what
Order of
Thraka's...
operations matters, everyone.
Totally. So a 9, that's a maybe. That's a maybe not, actually.
Well, you know what? We've got a 9-inch.
Yeah.
Right there.
I think he needed a 10. Yeah,
looks
he needs a
it's
10.
Just out. But you did.
Yeah, we're gonna, here we go, reroll the 4, not the 5.
There we go.
Nope, he didn't quite make it. Banner's coming next. The banner will make it in.
Okay.
And the megas are too far to do anything. And that's it. That's the end of the charge phase.
So I will do some heroic interventions, just because it's worth the while, I believe, just to base these guys here.
Yes.
So I will base that. I'm just going to say that I'm basing whatever's closest there. As many guys as I can, actually. So I'm closest to that guy. I'm just going to push base there. So I think that's really all I'm going to do. Is that going to do very much? You know, who knows? But at least that doesn't allow them to slide. Just that, you know, you never know. It's a game of inches.
Yeah, it did. So if you would have done it, these guys back here would have a little bit more space. This guy's going to slide ever so slightly right here into this honeycomb, which is going to get him ever so much closer to the point. But we're past the game of inches. We're now in a game of millimeters.
Yep.
So let's see what happens. The boys are fighting first. So we're going to go into the pile-in. You can see how significant that small space is, because now that puts one guy right there. This guy's going to trundle over and get in that honeycomb spot right there, get nice and tight. These boys, I think, are pretty much as tight as they're going to get in terms of coverage of attacks. The knob will just slide over a little bit. Doesn't really matter at this point. This one model is the kicker. So now we have to survive the attack after we punch them. They're not Warpath, but we do have more than 20 models, so we're looking at 4 attacks each. They have exceeded the range of Thraka, unfortunately, so they do not have that 5 attack.
And they're at strength 4, correct?
They're at strength 4. You already killed the strength 5 guys.
Yep, so
Or almost all the strength 5 guys.
there really is no benefit. There's not many defensive stratagems that I can think of, maybe there is, that can help me stay alive here, since I only have 1 command point at this point. Grim would bring them down to 3, but I'm only toughness 5, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. They don't have any AP on their weapons, is that correct?
The knobs will.
The knobs will, okay.
Yeah.
AP is
-3.
-3, so Ormite and Adamantium's not going to do very much for me there. I think I'm pretty much stuck. It's going to be a game of rolls, so that might come down to a CP reroll. Let's see.
Yep, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the knob, and we're going to maximize all the attacks we can onto this guy, and whatever has to go on him has to go on him. So in terms of selection, let's see who is within, again, that half an inch of a guy who is within an inch. So it's going to be everyone over here is fighting him. He's fighting him. He is also going to fight him because he's next to that guy. So him, and him are all fighting that guy. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the Ork boys are fighting the character along with the knob. And the remainder are going to punch him. I believe we have 3 of the Ork boys who aren't in range to do anything. And that's actually going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's pull out those 6s real fast.
Another 6 for you.
Thank you. So that's going to be 5 extra swings.
Okay. Take out the ones.
Yeah, and we're not re-rolling them, but those do lead to 5 more attacks, which I'll roll right now. All right, they're all going to be hits. Thank you, Law Banner. If you have snipers in your list, if you're an Imperium player, targeting the Wa Banner is definitely going to be your first priority.
And so I would pay dividends down the line in the game.
Yeah, I would say targeting the Wa Banner even over the custom force field, because Orks rely so much on their melee to get the job done. All right, so you are T5.
T5.
So 5 to 1. All right, not these misses. A decent enough roll.
That'll do it.
That's
All right.
considered.
So we got anything but here.
Yep,
We got 2 wounds left.
Yep.
All right.
And that'll do it.
Really debating. But he's not the one that's as important.
Yep, it's the other
So
one.
we're gonna he's gonna go down.
Yeah, so you're saving the command reroll for a save for the character back here who has more wounds and is the most critical part of the game right now.
Everything hinges on him staying alive, pretty much.
All right, so we're going to do the boys again first. We have 12 boys that are attacking him, so we've got 10 worth there, so it's going to have 8 more dice. Thank you.
You got it.
Let's see them 2s. Ooh, I wish I was rerolling ones.
What do you want me to grab out for the 6s?
Yeah, grab the 6s, and I'll grab those yucky ones. Okay.
Yeah, 2 more right there.
Cool. Well, pretty good 6s.
A little one right there.
So it's going to be 8 more attacks from the golf trait. Away. On 2s. Pretty good stuff. Wish I could just flip it like a skillet when making eggs.
Right. Load you up here.
Thank you, thank you.
Got it.
And once again, hitting on 5s.
Wounding up.
Wounding on 5s, thank you. Alright, now I'll grab those hits. Those wounds, rather.
Okay.
Okay, here we
Alright,
go.
here we go. Anything but. So we take 3 wounds?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got 1 left.
We got the
and
knob.
You got the knob. So
Here it comes. But he is hitting on 3s instead of 2s.
his weapon's D3, correct?
D3 damage, yeah.
Okay.
He's got an extra swing from Goth, which misses. And now we're wounding on 2s. And they are, nope, just 2 wounds.
Just
Minus
wounds.
3.
Alright, so it's going to be on his 3+ Eagle Eye save. For dramatic effect.
Oh!
And it all comes down to this reroll.
This is why you saved it.
This is why we saved the reroll. So here we go. There it goes.
Yep.
Goes down in a blaze of glory.
So of course that single roll was very, very much bad news for the Custodes, because at this point we're now going to do our consolidation 3 inches, which we're going to totally swarm that point. Just going to get these 3 boys on there, as well as this guy, and the rest of them just. Whoa, my
And
goodness!
down goes the shield
There's
captain.
the shield captain. I'll pass that back to you.
No worries.
We'll
Just, we'll have someone else
forward.
shoulder the mantle
Yeah.
for the time being.
The Knob with Banner didn't get a fight, so he's going to go ahead and pile in and consolidate also, just to get him further deeper in there. But at this stage, it's quite significant, because now I have more models than him on the point. So on the start of his turn, he's not going to be scoring as much VP. Here's a little piece from the guy.
Okay.
The other combat we do have still is the Lone Knob.
Yep.
Is in
lone
a
knob there.
Duel of Fates over here versus some Custodes. It's my turn, which means you get to fight first, because this guy didn't charge.
So we still just have the, well, we'll pile in, I guess, just so that you can get 1 extra attack. There you go. The 1 guy back there, behind there will be within half an inch. So that will give us 9 attacks. So let's do a 3 on the spear first. 3 on 2s. No rolls, wounding on 3s. Okay, so we got 2 at -3.
Can't save it. He's a goner.
Alright.
He
And
fought
we'll
bravely.
consolidate towards the closest, which will bring them back inside the building.
Nice and safe.
And that will be pretty much all that I can do right now.
Alrighty, so it's going to be the end of the fight phase, as well as the end of the morale phase. I didn't take any losses on my end, so we're going to move on to the top of turn 5, and this is where we're going to see the remainder of the game play out in terms of points.
Yep. Alright, end of turn 4. Dustin utilized a lot of just great savvy, especially movement in the fight phase. I knew that it was going to come down to a dice roll. Game of millimeters, like you said.
Yep.
And unfortunately, re-rolled that 3 into a 2, or re-rolled that save, didn't make it. So now you're on the point, which means if you hold the objective on your turn, you're going to take 1 more point. It's going to be pretty much a tie game, unless you kill the shield captain, who's been replaced. You put a helmet on, he's fine. So I think I have a couple of plays here. How do you think that turn went for you, Dustin?
I think it went pretty well, and for those that had reached a high level of play at 8th edition, I think they're going to find themselves still at a high level of play in 9th edition.
Yep.
Because one of the most mechanically complex parts about 8th was the fight phase. Maximizing your pile-in, maximizing your consolidation. That way you can really gain that extra movement that could come from it, so you could maximize a really slow unit to become something very, very fast.
Absolutely.
And that's what came through here. And at the same time, it was also about setting up multiple fail points. Because as you saw, like over here with this squad of 10 boys, they failed their charge. And if that was the only go that I had at it, you know, that would be the end of the game. I would not be able to come back in turn 5. But with this one, you know, I had a pretty good feeling about it, but it came down to the dice rolls with both of the characters.
That's right.
If both of them wouldn't have died, I couldn't have made the necessary consolidation. Because a lot of the boys would be trapped around that first character, but it was really that second character that was the end all be all.
That's right.
Yep.
So exactly to Dustin's point, he gave himself multiple hinge points. His whole strategy wasn't predicated on 1 point winning. It wasn't on a dice roll.
Yeah.
You saw he failed 2 or 3 charges in that phase.
Yeah.
Throughout the game, he's failed a bunch of charges, but he's put himself in a great position to win the game.
And at the same time, the game isn't over just yet for the Custodes also. I do see a means where they could still potentially take it, but it's going to be a matter of 1 victory point.
That's exactly right.
So looking into the next turn, you know, for your command phase, you're going to be scoring the 1 VP for the one that we've been fighting over for the entire game in that back house. But if you could at least knock my boys off that point, then you can tie me because, you know,
it's an advantage to going first.
There is absolutely an
It's a huge advantage to going first now.
My only question is, are you going to risk the captain to make that happen, or are you going to be a coward and run?
Well, you know what? I don't know that he's gone. He doesn't feel like he's had enough action in this game. So we'll see if we can have a nice climactic ending to this battle.
He's the victor of the blood games.
He is
better
the
get
victor
in
of the
there.
blood games. He knows what he's doing. All right, so we're going to move into the last turn, going into the top of 5. Custodes will get 1 more CP, 1 more command point at the top here, and the score is 11 plays 8 as it stands right now.
Is it 11? I think it's actually 10.
That's right, 10.
Because
Yep.
point.
10. So 10 plays 8. So this will be a big turn. We'll see you at the top of 5. All right, so not much for, well, actually, probably some of the most important moves of the game have just happened. At the top of the turn, I scored in the command phase, which means I can abandon this point, objective 4, because I'm not going to be able to score anymore. So the squad that was holding that objective moved out of the ruin. They're going to try to get a charge off on this group here. What that could allow me to do is if I can get a charge here, because all of my units have OBSEC, I might be able to take this back so that Dustin won't be able to score it on his turn. So really, at this point, it's really a game of can I do enough damage or can I place enough models on objective 2 to take it from him, to keep him from scoring it on top of his turn. So we'll go into the shooting phase first. We'll go ahead and we'll put the salvo launcher. That's going to be a waste of a shot, but you know what? Every one counts. So
It's
really,
one
at this point, it's
2.
really a game of can I do enough
that
damage or
2?
can I place enough models?
Victor of the
on
Blood Games.
objective
Whoa.
2 to take it from him. To keep him from scoring it on top of
The
his
other
turn.
shots?
Yeah,
So we'll go into the shooting phase first.
So let's go ahead and
Ooh, it was
just
close. I saw it
So
for a
that'll
second.
be AP minus 4.
That's
No saves.
Yeah, so that'll be 1. Every wound
Well, this fella just bit the
That's
dust.
on a 1. Alright. 2. So then we're going to go into the other squads here. So this guy, this lone guardian right there, he's going to shoot his sentinel blade into that squad there as well. So give me 1 second. That's my 1 roll. Check.
Just enough. I saw it
So that'll be AP minus 4.
no save.
Yeah, so 2. So 2 shots. Hitting on 2s. He's got the captain there. Wounding on 4s.
Then we're going to go into the
Alright, 2 wounds.
squads.
And that you will get a save.
lone guardian right there.
See that t-shirt?
He's going to shoot his sentinel blade
2 more dead.
to that squad
2
there as
more
well.
down.
So give me 1 second. I wanna double
And then we're
check.
going to have 2 more guys there. They're also going to put their shots. So,
Just
4 shots there.
2 shots.
Hitting on 2s, he's got the captain there.
Hits.
Wounding on 4s. 4s as well. Alright, 2 wounds. And then you will get 2 more saves.
Keeps AP.
Let's see that t-shirt. Save 1.
Alright.
It's a dead boy though. 2 more dead.
Good boy.
2 more down.
Alrighty.
And then we're going to
This is
have
an
2 more
interesting
guys
choice.
there. You're also going to put their
So that's really all my shooting. It's down to the charge phase. So we're going to declare a charge first.
Just the way I like it.
Just the way you like it. So, all right, let's do this. We're going to do a charge first with the with this one guy right there.
So I have no CP to Overwatch.
Okay, so it can't really fail. We'll just roll it anyway. Got a 10. Okay, great. All right. So he's going to come in, use his 10 inches. And what he's actually going to try to do is he's going to base this guy right I want to keep enough space there. So actually, you know what? I'm going to base them right. I'm going to base this guy right here.
Okay.
We'll do the shield captain right there.
This is 10 inches.
Anything but really.
And what he's trying to do is he's trying to minimize the amount of guys that are going to flood the point when I have my own pile in.
Exactly right. So he's going to just turn his base and base these two right there. All right, so this is a big charge. And I do have 1 CP, so hopefully I'm not going to need it. Nope.
Is that a 5er?
Yeah, it's a 5-inch charge. At least to get that guy. But obviously more distance is going to be, it's going to be ideal. So here we go. What do we got?
These two right there. All right, so
You
this
got
is a
it.
big
That'll
charge.
do it. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay, so what we are going to do here is this guy's going to go within an inch there. The guy in the back here is going to use his 10 inches. Actually, I'm going to use this just to simulate where he's going to be. So I want to leave enough space for this guy too. So he's going to be on the point just right there.
Get that toe.
This guy's going to be there, there. He's going to be right there. And the last one is going to be exactly where he should be, right here.
Now, does your captain have OPSEC?
He does.
That's very important. Because right now you outnumber me 5-4 on that point.
And that's big.
So are you done with your charges?
I believe that is going to be
the banner
all of my
will
charges,
heroically
yeah.
intervene
Okay.
and get in range of your warlord, and maybe we can scam a warlord kill out of here.
All right. So we will go into the fight phase now. Alrighty. So we'll do the captain first. He's gonna go on the boys.
Sure.
5 attacks. Hitting on 2s. Rerolling the 1s, thankfully. Okay, misses on 1. No. Wounding on strength is 6.
T4, so you're winning on 3s.
But I do get to reroll because it's got the interceptor lance. Okay, doesn't matter. 3 at -3.
No save for those 3. That's 3 more dead boys.
Alright. There's no more interrupt there. So we're going to do the single... You know what? We're going to do the single guy there. He's going to get 3 attacks. All hits. Wounding on 4s. Okay, 2 at -3.
No save. That's 2 more dead boys.
Okay.
I feel like you're hearing the refrain here.
And then the third one, I'm actually going to spend 1 CP. And what that is, I'm going to use the Bringer of the Emperor's Justice. Each time you make a hit roll of 6+, you get to make an extra attack using the same weapon. Okay. So, what that'll do is, hopefully get a 6 or 2. Every attack matters here.
What squad is this on?
So this is going to be on the guard squad that came over here.
So you're chopping with these 2 right here?
With these 3 right
Oh,
here.
is this guy in range?
So this will be important, right? I got to make sure that I'm doing the fight first. Oh, he's already piled in, can't do anything. So is he within half an inch of this guy? Well, that's the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's our little
tool?
Let's see. And thanks to the Chicago Cowboy, we have these wonderful little tools here. So I don't think that counts, right?
I think you might.
So he's going to be out. So I'm only going to get the. So this is a little bit of a misplay because I would have rather had the Guardian Spear as opposed to the 2 the Sentinel Blades. But
yeah,
every attack counts.
Having the guy out of attack range, though, is I still think the proper thing because you need to have that toe over there in order to still claim that point.
All right, so we'll do the blades first. So 6s will actually. Do I get the CP back? That's important. I don't get the CP.
You do?
I do. So I get 1 CP left. That'll be big. All hits. Wounding on 4s. That doesn't count. So just the 2.
Okay. AP?
-3.
Yep. 2 more dead.
How many 6s to hit? I don't think I did actually. So I don't think that came into play there. And really, I think that's pretty much all that I can do. Everybody's pretty much based there. Can't really do much more. So that's going to be the end of my turn.
So I got some pretty tough choices here. I need to deplete them ever so slightly. If I can knock one guy off of that point, I'm going to continue to hold it. Also, the Warlord is in the danger zone. So I have to ask myself, do I commit and kill the regular guys because they're a little easier to kill, or do I commit to killing the captain, which could get me the point, and Warlord kill?
Right.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with the banner knob and punch the captain first because he has no other choice. That'll help me make some decisions afterwards. Alrighty, so we're hitting on 3s with the banner with his power claw. We got a 6. That's going to be another swing. It's going to be 3 hits on the captain. This is strength times 2, so a 10. So we're going to do in 3s.
So, okay.
Oh no! Well, that's 1 save, -3.
-3, here we go. And he makes it.
You're good. Alright, now comes the tough part of allocating these boys. This fellow right here is wounded?
Yeah.
What is the wound on?
He's
that guy?
wounded, yep. I think he had 1 left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Tough, tough, tough. Okay, let's do some piling in and then we'll make some decisions. I think we're going to put as much as we can on the guy that doesn't have a storm shield. Because if we can knock him off, then we'll claim the position. So we're going to have the knob that's going to go on him for sure.
Okay.
Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys that are in range of this guy.
Okay.
We've got 6, 7, 8, or excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that have to go into the captain.
Okay.
So I said 8 and 5?
8 and 5.
Yeah. That brought us too far for the rerolls. We do have a 6 there.
Wait, these are, I'm sorry.
Nope.
So you've chosen as the attack. These are strength 4.
They are strength 4.
So if you don't mind,
Yeah, go
I'd
for
like
it.
to use the Grim Responsibility, which is my last CP,
Make them wound on 6s.
and make a wound on 6s.
Makes sense. All right, let's see them 6s on the captain. Ooh,
How many we got there?
not bad. You mitigated some, but we still have 6 saves.
6 saves. All right. AP?
None.
All right, 2s. All right, he takes the 1. What do you still have going into the captain?
Nothing left.
Nothing left
We have 8 plus the knob going into the squad.
into the squad. So I might as well use the Victor of the Blood Games to
Yeah.
roll the 1. All right, and so he's good. You know what? I can't do that because I used the Victory on the melted bomb, the melted gun, right? So then I
It's
can't do
restricted
it.
by phase, or is it by
It's by your turn. You can do 1 hit roll, wound roll, save roll for this model in each turn.
Gotcha.
Each player turn. So
Take your wound, buddy.
he's down. Let's see if I pass it with his Superior Creation 5+ field of pain. All right, so he takes it. He's down to
Duffel was
4,
punishing
I
him.
believe. Where did his thing fall off to? Well, it's down to 4.
Okay. Here's the boys. The squad. 2s. Because the banner is danger close. A few 6s. Here, and here, and here. It's going to be 6 6s. So we'll toss 6 more dice. Okay. Take out these 1s. And now we're going to wound you on 5s because you're T5 and I'm strength 4. Kind of wish in retrospect it wouldn't have been such a cheapskate and spent the CP upgrade to upgrade these guys to Scar Boys also. But live and learn. Ooh, look at all those 6s. Let's take those 5s, those 6s. Okay, that's a pretty good hefty amount of saves.
All right,
Gonna pick that up.
let's pick them up. And these are on the
This is on the squad, so the one who has one
one
already.
already. All right, let's see it.
I see some
Ooh,
ones.
there we go, 3 1s. So definitely gonna lose the 1 guy,
2 in the next.
and then yep, you guys got it.
So the knob's gonna take his swing also.
Okay.
On 3s, because the banner. We're gonna miss 2 of them. on 2s. That's going to be 2 saves.
All right. And so we are playing this as the 4+, because we said for the Storm Shields, right? We're playing it as the 4+ invulnerable or the +1 to your armor save. So the AP is -3 on that, correct?
That's correct.
So I'm going to take it on the 4+. All right.
Oof.
That's going to do it for
All
me.
right, so D3 or
That'll, yep. Either way, it'll take them up. All right. And then one.
the next one is going to be 3 wounds.
That takes them out. Nice job, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you. Sometimes you get lucky at those 6s. We're now going to consolidate our 3 inches, get closer to the next enemy model. We're just going to put this knob close, this guy close, and this guy close. At this point, mathematically, we're going to control the point.
Yep.
But we got to look at the morale because I took a lot of losses. We lost 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Not quite enough to make it the unit at half strength. So we're going to take a leadership test. It's not going to be great, but we do have some things that are going to mitigate some morale losses to make sure that we continue to hold that point. So first, let's do that leadership check. See if we fail it. All right, so we have an 11 plus 2, puts us to a 13. With mob rule, our leadership is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to be okay because of mob rule.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right. I think that's pretty much the end of Custodes turn 5. So on to Orks turn 5.
Yep. It's going to be a pretty straightforward turn 5 for the Orks. At this stage, the coward's path is to just retreat from combat and flood the point. Because at this stage, I'm going to score in the command phase 1, 2, 3 for my turn, plus an additional 1 for holding more than he does, which will put me at +4, bringing my score to 12. At this stage, for funs and giggles, I'm going to try and kill that captain.
Let's do it.
Why not? So I'm going to just have everything pass, and we're just going to go right back into the combat here.
Sounds good.
So you get to go first, because that's how it goes.
Because that's how it goes. All right. So Captain will have 5 attacks. And
Who do you want to allocate it to?
the
Kill the banner?
Nah, let's kill some boys.
Hey,
Let's
alright.
kill some boys. All right. I'll roll the 1. Okay. All hits. And then wounding on 3s, I believe.
Oh,
Rerolls for he did not charge, so just the 2 -3.
that's 2 dead boys. All right. The banner is going to try and get his sweet revenge, so he's fighting next. And he's going to try and slap that shield captain. Ooh, that's 3 hits, plus a Daka. That's 4 hits.
Oh boy.
On 3s. I have a CP, so heck, why not? Let's reroll 1. Didn't help. That's going to be 2 at -3.
So this is gonna be on the 3+ save here.
This is on your captain.
So yep. And so he's got the 3+ invulnerable with his relic. Because it's your turn now, I do get the Victor of the Blood
That's
Games. So let's reroll that too. Let's see if we can save that. And we do not.
D3.
What's the damage?
It's going to be only 1.
Just 1. So let's see, do we save it with a Superior Creation? On a 5. Does not. So just down to 3. Alrighty.
It's your next
So
pick.
then the guard there. It's going to go against the boys as well.
Yeah.
All hits. You need 4s. Nope, nothing.
Okay. Now it's going to be the turn for the boys. The knob didn't make base contact, so we're going to pile him in his 3. That way he can get in range of that Capitano. And then this guy is also going to pile in 3 to get him. Well, he's not quite in there either, but we'll just punch that guard dude. Okay, so we've got the knob who's going to go there, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 boys. These 2 aren't going to get to do anything. That guy's not going to get to do anything. But these are going to have to attack the lone man. So let's do the knob first. All right, he is, I think we're under 20 models. Yeah, we definitely are. So we have less attacks. But it didn't matter, he's a beast. And he gets an extra one because of that 6, which he hits with because of the banner. Wounds on 3s. That's going to be 3 saves at -3 in the captain from that knob.
So he's going to get 3+. Fails 2. Well, there's not really much I already used in my Victor, so
D3 for the first one. Ooh.
takes 3.
D3 for the second one is a total of 5 damage.
All right, so 5 damage. I need to pass these on my superior creation. Show me some 5s.
Oh!
1 wound left.
Oh! All right, I guess it's up to the boys, huh?
It's up to the boys. All right.
Okay. We're pretty depleted here, but let's see what happens. We got a few attacks, and we only need 1 to go through.
Just the 1.
Hitting on 2s because of the banner. No extra swings though. But we're wounding on 5s at this stage.
Yep, took the 6.
So you got some saves to do there. Let's see.
you go.
Statistically, you're dead. That's 7.
For dramatic effect.
Ooh, don't do this to me.
Oh,
Keep going, keep going.
that's it.
All right, you
All right.
got 1 feel no pain save
Needs
to
to be a
make.
5+. Doesn't make it, and he goes down. And that's, as they say, is that.
That is that.
Looks like that's all she wrote.
Well, the Warlord went down through the mass mob of Orc boys, as he should. So, Horde players, live it and love it.
Horde is not dead.
It's not, it really isn't. And there is a lot of, and we could talk about more of this in some of the post-game conversation, but there's a lot of reasons why Horde is not dead and the sky is not yet falling for the Tyranid players, the GSC players, and the Orc players out there.
What a game.
Oh my god,
What
down
a
to
game.
the wire.
That was a great one, Dustin.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Awesome
that
game.
was a real pleasure. It was like a great tennis match. You know?
Back and forth.
Back and forth, back and forth.
And the thing that I really have to give you credit for, after what turn 2 you failed all those charges, I think anybody would have just given up at that point, thought that's game over. But what we said, you gave yourself options and tons of plays to stay in the game.
Yeah, we even talked about it. We had the question of, do we just re-rack? Because that turn 2 was pretty devastating. But just as you say, you have to find those opportunities to hedge your bets every step of the way. And that's something that you did throughout the game as well, to where you recognize that there was, even with Custodes, there's points of failure. And
Of course.
yeah.
Lots of points of failure.
Absolutely.
Rolling 144 dice, like saves and stuff like that.
But as anyone's going to see in turn 4 and turn 5, like that was a game of inches and a game of millimeters, and where there need to be a plan A, there need to be a plan B, and a plan C for every stage of the game where things just might fall apart. Because none of our plan A's worked out. It was usually the plan B's that worked out, and sometimes the plan C that just by luck came along.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you think back about the game overall, let's talk about 9th edition first before we go into our armies. What about 9th edition stood out for you?
A big thing for me as a Horde player is definitely the morale phase.
Absolutely.
So before, the morale phase was a massive liability if you're fielding a lot of models. And yeah, I have mob rule, but once you knock me down, let's say I take 15 casualties from a Punisher cannon, they're going to run away. It's done.
Right. And
it's just automatic. With this, there was multiple times where the morale phase saved my butt.
Oh yeah.
It became an influencer in your own decisions on where you're going to put your shots, and you made very specific choices that completely changed the nature of the game because of the morale phase.
Right.
I think a lot of people have been sleeping on how impactful it is, because it's like you read the rules and you go, who cares? It's no big deal. But it really, really is big, because rolling that 1 or rolling that 2 when you have that many models, you're going to save a lot of guys.
Save a lot of guys.
Yeah, I lost half my guys from a morale roll at one point, but there was still some left over.
That's exactly right.
On the flip side, if you're an elite army and you fail a morale roll, like the models that you lose are hyper expensive, and that really, really hurts.
Right.
So I think Horde players really need to stand at attention and notice how these changes happen, and use that in impacting their list building.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, CP management and keeping track of CP throughout the game is going to be so important. For me, I think one of the big misplays that I had was in probably turn 3, where you missed all your charges and I had the option to charge.
Yeah.
I thought that you had 2 CP left that you could interrupt, so that I didn't charge the shield captain into Ghaz, I didn't charge the bikes into Ghaz and some of the other characters. Remembering that you get the drip on your command phase, right, is important. So you had 1, I really could have just had my way with all those fights there. So keeping track of your command points is going to be critically important to be successful in 9th edition.
Yeah, and I think whenever you're approaching your army, there's some factions where if there's a stratagem that they could use every single turn by getting that CP drip, it's huge. I think it's a big one for Custodes. I think it's a big one for Orks as well, because there's always going to be that one super defensive stratagem you just want to spam turn after turn after turn, and it can be game-changing. Like,
absolutely.
Looking at how we tracked our CP management throughout the game, I had a lot of regrets of bringing that SAG.
He went supernova and he blew a lot of points and didn't have a lot to show for it. If I could have instead had the 6 CP over the entire course of the game, I wish.
That would have been a big. I mean, that would have been just an absolute landslide at that point.
Well,
But again, I got to give Dustin a lot of credit. The cards were stacked against him. I thought that I played. So I'm relatively new to Custodes. I thought I played them okay in the first turn or two, trying to bait Dustin to use more CP to get ahead on the CP resource management little mini game that we had going on. And then what just showed you is like one mistake. I think that turn 3 where I didn't declare Ghaz, I didn't declare the banner or some of the other characters to try to keep those bikes alive. That ended up costing me the game. So overall, great game, great learning experience. 9th edition, not too much has changed from 8th, but there's enough subtle differences like the morale phase, like you're saying, the fight phase, who gets to go first, that we're just going to take a couple more games to start to make it feel like muscle memory.
we mentioned at the beginning of the video in that I think it's important for people who are playing 9th edition for the first time to actually play this mission specifically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because the mission itself, as you see, wasn't mechanically complex in terms of the rules of it, but as you saw us working at that turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, you can get really deep, even into a basic mission and have a satisfying play, while at the same time really focusing on playing 9th with rules that really matter,
Right.
and then getting into those complicated secondaries that people are talking about right now.
And for those who thought that the technicality and that little skill was going to go away in 8th, 9th is definitely a game of choices and decisions.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that both Dustin and I put ourselves in positions was to try and make each other make a decision, make a choice.
Yeah.
So that definitely came into play with the gameplay here, but also technicality like the fight phase. Your pylons and your consolidates allowed you to get to that point. The way that we try to use engagement range to move block, things like that. So this is a super exciting time. I had a blast playing this game. And this is our second game that we played Orks and Custodes, but first in 9th edition. And it's extremely fun.
Now, looking at some of the models that we brought to the field today, are there any big winners, big losers that you saw on your list?
Yeah. So again, this is my first time playing the Alaris Terminators. I think I got cute. I wanted to play conservative, so sniping out your warlord put me ahead on the points.
I was chasing that the entire game. Literally until the last turn of the game, I was chasing that point that they got when they assassinated that Saga.
When the Mega Knobs took out the Terminators, that really didn't leave me enough to just protect my 2 points.
Yeah.
So would a better play really to come in on the other side and threaten your objectives to put pressure on? I don't know, maybe. But one thing to keep in mind when you're playing a Custodes army is you have so few models that every wound, every model counts.
And that's very true with Custodes, is they don't leave a lot of room for error.
Exactly.
Every player, no matter who they are, whether you're a top table or not, you're going to make mistakes. And Custodes is very unforgiving.
Very unforgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, one big mistake on my part pretty much cost me the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I also think there's room for improvement, especially from the defensive stratagems.
Sure.
Definitely, when I watch this back, there's going to be opportunities to use a more efficient defensive stratagem. Should I use Grim Responsibly on the Shield Captain, or should I use it on the Guard Squad?
No.
So that'll be something fun that Custodes players will look forward to. Is you're going to have a lot of options. Strengths are in your stratagems, but you're also going to have to be very careful with how you use them and managing your resources.
Yeah, for sure. In a future game, would you consider having more psychic support, for example? Like Inquisitors, Sisters
Inquisitors or Sisters of Silence. I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to. Again, this is my first time playing with the Alaris Terminator sort of bomb there. I would probably say I probably got a little too aggressive, to be honest. Going for the play, obviously put the pressure on you.
Yeah.
But it then kind of exposed me in the center, where if I played a little bit more conservative, maybe I used that sniping strategy to take out the banner and the custom force field.
Yep.
That puts me in a pretty good place to just let the Hurricane Bolters mow down some boys, and maybe I play a little bit more methodical.
I think killing the banner should be a real big priority for anyone
Oh,
who plays versus
absolutely.
Orks.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the Mega Knobs, and they performed really well today, and I think they're going to be an extremely popular choice in 9th edition when they weren't really that popular in 8th. They were starting to come into prominence at LVO this year, but only a couple of people had really caught that edge. But Saga the Beast has catapulted them.
Absolutely.
But you kill that banner, they're hitting on 4s, and that stinks.
Yeah.
That's cut a ton of their damage. So
Yeah, make that one. The Sag, I don't know if I bring him again. From the perspective of he's so hit and miss. Like, sometimes he's amazing, sometimes he's garbage. But he's also a problem in terms of force organization also. It costed me a lot of CP to even get him on the table.
2 CP for the detachment, right?
2 CP for the patrol, and then 1 CP for the specialist detachment.
Right.
So right off the bat, I'm starting with 3.
You spent 6, right?
Yeah, that's too much for what you get out of him.
Yeah.
With that said, though, an MVP I'm going to tell you, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by this because you might not have even remembered seeing him on the board. And it's the Gretchen. It's the Gretchen. It's the little bitty Gretchen hiding behind some canisters, some containers over there, completely ignored because you couldn't see him. And they scored me points every single turn.
Yep.
They were safe. And if I would have had one more squad of Gretchen, I could have put them on the other point and let my other stuff go do bigger and better things, be more aggressive. So, the troop roll and the cheap troop roll is still important. A lot of people are saying scouts are done. Why bring scouts to an Imperium list? Au contraire. I think you need to think about it again.
Yeah. Well, great. Dustin, is there anything else, takeaways that you can think of? As we watch this back, I'm sure we'll probably put some more feedback or thoughts, post-game analysis into the website. But overall, great first game in 9th edition. I'm sure, being that this was our first game in 9th, our first game really showcasing War of the Spider as well as Saga of the Beast, I'm sure we got a rule here or there mixed up. So please let us know in the comments. Wasn't malicious by any means, but this was a lot of fun. Really excited, looking forward to 9th edition.
Yeah, me too.
I will say that I do think that the missions have swung a lot towards board control and holding objectives. Obviously, this is just the first one that we played, but I have a feeling that a lot of people think it's going to be a super, super killy game, and I have to say that I love the tit-for-tat, the very tactical back-and-forth game that we even had here, and it's going to be a lot like that. So don't throw away those units that give you board control, and just durable units are going to come into premium.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the next battle report, which is going to tackle those secondary missions.
Yeah,
so stay tuned for more of that.
You can expect some Necrons and maybe some Howling Wolves.
Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right, well, with that being said, I think we'll call that a wrap for our second battle report, first in 9th edition.
Yeah.
If you like what you saw, give us a like, subscribe. Really appreciate all the encouragement and the support that the community has provided for us. If you're interested in joining our Discord server, email grimdarkfilthycasuals@gmail.com, and you can reach out to us, follow us on all the typical social channels. We've got a podcast out now. You can find us on iTunes.
If you're not tired of listening to us just yet, you could listen to us even more. What a deal!
What a deal. Kind of a big deal. Well, thanks again. We really appreciate that. And we hope to see you on the 9th edition Battlefield sometime soon.